If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Monday, September 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with the high of 96. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of Weekend Winners at 8 a.m., and we talk to Hold the Mayo at 9:15. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert. Yeah! Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, yo? Oh, man, it feels good. A full football week in college and the NFL, both back, and this is a Monday OTB, the easiest shows in the world to do. There is so much to talk about. Our cup overfloweth, but they're also my favorite shows when your football teams win. Specifically yesterday, your New Orleans Saints finding a way to get it done, emerge out of the Superdome with a win. We'll bring it down. We'll talk about it. Was it perfect? No. But as you'll see, you don't need to be perfect. And look, in the NFL, you never care. A win's a win. There's no such thing as a bad team in the NFL. It's not like a close win against Troy or something, okay? That was well fought, well executed. One side of the ball, incredible throughout the game. The other side of the ball, incredible when it needed to be. And to celebrate the Saints win, I got the worst, ill-fitting, oddly tailored Chinese knockoff Ryan Ramchick jersey that anyone has ever seen. Why are these sleeves so long? I have no idea. You can watch on youtube.com/1045 ESPN. But yeah, I'm ecstatic today, man. Very fun. Before we dive into the show, Jake's gonna be here in a little bit. He had to go drop the kids off at school. Daddy comes first here on Off the Bench. But boys, how are we feeling? Mara, how was the call yesterday?
It was great, man. My ears are still ringing. The dome was loud last week, and I know it was a close game. It was an exciting game, but it seemed loud compared to the last couple of week ones. So we had a lot of fun.
Taylor, what's up?
Man, it was a good weekend sports for me. Every team I like won. Every team I hate lost. It was a good weekend. Went to the game on Saturday, and out of everywhere I could have sat, right behind me, one of my best friends from high school that I hadn't seen in like 5 years, directly behind me. So we hung out the whole game. It was nice.
Okay, dude. Well, that's very heartwarming. I guess, maybe that's like one of the only good parts about like a Grambling type game, the social interacting. We'll get to LSU as well, but I don't think they're going to lead today. I think we have to lead with your New Orleans Saints, who start 1-0 yesterday. And let's start with the good. The defense was incredible. The defense was absolutely dominant throughout the game. And let's be clear, that first play felt like a bad omen. Okay, you come out the gates, not only do you get a holding penalty, but just an insanely good strip forced fumble on Rashid Shaheed. And next thing you know, Titans in the red zone immediately. And the temptation was to kind of throw your hands up and go, here we go again, dude. Just bumbling start. This is, and it's already the anger starts boiling. But what does the defense do? They follow their fearless leader, Demario Davis, who starts preaching on adversity, the ability to overcome adversity defining who you're going to be, the toughness required to win in this league. And what do they come out and do? They come out and shut it down, get the stop, force a field goal, and that would go on to set the tone for the rest of the day for that New Orleans Saints defense as they, the Titans couldn't do anything. They have 0 touchdowns. This is a New Orleans Saints defense that all of last season had 7 picks, and then they emerge out of this game alone with 3. Ryan Tannehill, a 28.8 quarterback rating. That is the lowest of his 11-year career. Derrick Henry, 63 yards rushing. We mentioned the 3 picks, 3 sacks, 0 touchdowns. The most important statistic. So the defense, take a bow, man. Carl Granderson was great rushing the passer. Marshawn Lattimore's pick was a thing of beauty. He was absolutely dominant, looking at his fine form as he has ever been in. And some of that new interior defensive line, Kalen Saunders, Nathan Shepard, like Dennis Allen did quite the job putting this group together, and they passed test week 1. And if you're Derek Carr, how good it must feel to be playing with this defense. Remember, one of the main talking points we got into this offseason was that if you look at his career with the Raiders, he's always had a horrible defense. I think like twice in his career, he had a defense that was ranked 20th in the league. And both years he did was when he won a lot of football games and went to the playoffs. Well, screw 20. You now have a top 10, maybe top 5 defense in the entire league. And so, yes, Derek Carr already just in one Sunday has experienced what that feels like. He doesn't have to be Superman. It's not all on him. Because they did not, again, so I mentioned defense played well throughout. The offense obviously did not. The offense struggled for much of the game, but when it mattered most, they made the plays. That's what I need to see out of Derek Carr. I mean, look, let's be clear. Red zone was a bit of a disaster. Trevor Penning really struggled in that first half, proving that you had to give him some help off the edge. The offensive line being a concern when it came to running the ball. Well, you don't feel any better about that. You could not run the ball at all. But if you want to highlight the difference between last year and this year, the difference between Derek Carr and Andy Dalton, go look at the final sequence. Remember last year, that was our biggest knock on Dalton. You couldn't close out games. You couldn't come back to win games. In high-pressure situations, you were feckless. You just had no bite to you, no threat. Nobody was worried about you. You were completely vanilla and bland. Well, yesterday, game on the line, don't give the ball back and you win up by 1 point. Don't leave it in a kicker's hands and Nick Folk, who's made like 17 field goals on the day already. Game on the line, 1 point, don't give it back and you win. What do you do on second down? You throw the ball and you set up 3rd and 5. What do you then do on 3rd down? You throw a 40-yard deep ball, which credit to Mike Triplett. He has a great write-up on New Orleans football where he gets into the story of how this all came about. And apparently, on the sideline before this drive, Derek Carr's talking to Pete Carmichael, and they go over that play, and he's like, look, I really like this play. Derek Carr said that to Carmichael. And then so Carmichael comes back, and when it matters most, game on the line, 3rd and 5, what's he do? He calls the play that Carr told him he liked. And Carr talked about after the game how that kind of, that meant a lot, right? That already this could be their first time in actual battle together, and already they have a trust level because of Carr's expertise and his time on task in this league that Carmichael was willing to trust his quarterback. And that trust was immediately rewarded as on 3rd and 5, Carr launches it 40 yards through Rashid Shaheed. First down, Titans out of timeout. But you still need one more first down to end this game. And that's where you got to credit this offensive line. An offensive line that struggled for pretty much the entire day. Come up with a couple of hard runs, set up 3rd and 4. And on a day in which I think they averaged, I mean, if you take out this last play, they probably averaged sub 2 yards a carry. They needed 4. They get 11. Okay, so that is winning football in the NFL. Certainly in the NFL, you have to be good on a play-to-play basis. No doubt about that, right? But what ultimately decides who makes the playoffs, who goes on to win Super Bowls, how do you do in situational football? And that is perfect offensive situational football right there from the New Orleans Saints. So, again, offense has a ton to work on, but I'm glad that we're not talking about having them work on making the big plays, closing out games, because they passed that with flying marks. And then the defense just gets A+ all the way around, forcing turnovers, consistently pressuring, stopping the run. Really fantastic. And then when you look at special teams, the fumble hurts, but take a bow, Blake Grupe. This is a move that I was very concerned over, that I didn't know that I agreed with. And it looks pretty damn justified after game 1 as Blake Grupe perfect on the day. And I don't know if you missed it or not, but Will Lutz with Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos end up losing 17-16 to the Las Vegas Raiders. And, well, then you look and you figure out that Will Lutz missed his first extra point in a Broncos uniform, right? So, look, I like Lutz. This is not to, bash on him, but it is to say that is one of the moves that was going to be put under a microscope, and we were going to examine and use the objective results to kind of score, okay, who won this decision? And the front office and Dennis Allen wins very clearly in game number 1. So nails by Groupie, and look, Lutz ends up being the difference in that game. I want to get to your comments, your biggest takeaways from yesterday's Saints game as well. Some other stuff just off the top here. The wide receiver group at the end of the day, again, while this wasn't the best offensive performance, you gotta feel good about Carr and these weapons. I mean, all of a sudden you look at the box score, you got Shaheed, 5 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. A beautiful touchdown, too. The double move, the pump fake from Carr, just the touch to put it right over the top of the defender. You have Chris Olave in with 8 catches for 112. Mike Thomas, 5 catches for 61. This is without Alvin Kamara, guys. What happens when you get Alvin Kamara back, right? What happens if this offensive line can become a bit more consistent, run block a bit better? And I mean, credit to the Titans, right? It's not just about the Saints. We mentioned it coming in. It's a very good Titans defensive line. That was going to be one of the key matchups, the key challenges of this game, and it proved to be just that. But you got to imagine what did Juwan Johnson end up with? I didn't look up that either. I'm sure he had pretty okay numbers as well.
Somewhat pedestrian. He had 3 catches for 36, excuse me.
Okay, 3 for 36. It's, I mean, not awful. But the point is, then you add Alvin Kamara to that mix, and all of a sudden you got a lot of weapons. You also had a blocked punt on special teams that I forgot about. I mean, how could I forget on a day in which you're honoring Steve Gleason and his incredible story? A blocked punt in the Dome always does feel a little bit different. So a fantastic day at the Superdome. And shout out our guy Hold the Mayo getting on TV. Looked like a Superman type set jaw of a pose. We'll talk to Hold the Mayo coming up on Spread Lines at 9:15 later today. But excellent job by your New Orleans Saints. 1-0. 1-0. And again, we can get into critiques, get into whatever I'm mad about, but there's no pumping sunshine in the NFL. A win is a win, and a win needs to be celebrated and coveted and should make the rest of your week very, very happy because this Saints team found a way to get it done week 1. We'll continue to review. We'll still get to LSU. I watched all the film for about 2.5 hours last night, so I got a lot of thoughts there. Keep it locked right here, youtube.com/1045ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Live and local radio, folks. That's what we are here, and we love teaming up with our live and local partners, and that's why I love Community Steel Company. They're right there in Gonzales, Louisiana. They got a 15,000 square foot warehouse that is it's crazy because it's already really big, but then it's only growing, right? I mean, they're doubling the size. They got more and more coming, and it's because they're finding success because their customers are always satisfied. All the tubing, all the purlin, they're still building needs. It's all there at the best prices with a live and local sales team, okay? You're not going to Mississippi. You don't have to deal with any national companies. You're not just filling out order forms online. You're not struggling to get in touch with people because you got to go through automated phone services. No. It's a mixture of personal, local, customer service and touch and the best prices in town. What are you waiting for? Go see them today. Community Steel Company. Call 225-647-2020.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, I'm happy to say we have vehicles in stock and more coming in at no markup. Don't pay over MSRP. Come on down to Corvell Toyota and choose your new Toyota today. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Oshner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Call in Baton Rouge. Operator, what you put me on through? Gotta send my love down to
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart...
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows, recapping a busy weekend. LSU Grambling, you'll hear from Brian Kelly, and we'll recap Saints-Titans from the Dome. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Mr. Wallace, why is Coach F so stubborn as to not have Taysom Hill touch the ball in the first half? So I would say, and boys, I'll let y'all jump in here as well if you got a take here. But I would say that we've almost, in a weird way, arrived back at how it felt when you had Drew Brees, where you really have to question, do you take your very good quarterback off the field? I still love Taysom Hill in package situations, 3rd and 2, red zone, things along those lines. But unlike the last 2 years in which Dalton, Winston were not that threatening and many times not the driving force of your offense, like there were last year times where Taysom Hill's packages was your best offense, right? And so to me, that's not the case anymore. And if you just look at the game flow from yesterday, you had 3rd and long constantly. I mean, in the first half alone, I think you had 3rd and 10 or more, like 6 or 7. Like it was you were not doing a very good job down to or play to play, setting up 3rd and manageable. And so that's just a game in which the flow dictates that Hill's just not going to play that much. Like this is not like last year where you had to kind of go out of your way to use him to generate some offensive success. Your best path still lies through Derek Carr and these weapons.
Also not the best matchup. The Titans were the number 2 rush defense in the league last year. They have a really good front seven. There will be other games where I think you could utilize Taysom a little bit more.
Rusty Brooks, T-Boob, sorry your weekend was ruined. How about them Cowboys?
T-Boob.
That's
funny.
Taylor, do you want to and Joe will allow you 30 seconds to talk about your Cowboys?
No, they were great. Coming into this year, I thought that this defense had a chance to be really good. I'm not going to overhype them, though. Like, they played a great game. However, Daniel Jones was really, really bad. And defenses across the league dominated week one. They're not going to be that good every week, but that's the Dak Prescott I want to see. Like, I know I give him a lot of crap. The Cowboys are more efficient on offense when they run the ball more, and Dak throws the ball less. So a 13 of 20, 13 of 25 for Dak, no turnovers. Like, I'm fine with that every single week if you can run the ball and play defense like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think anybody would probably be fine if you could run the ball and play defense to the tune of 30-something. But I think the problem is you just can't do that all that often in the NFL. But still, I would be terrified if I was a Giants fan today. I mean, you're already like, wait, how long did we sign Daniel Jones for? How long's the contract? It was last season? So there's like 4 years left? All right, we'll see. We'll see where this thing ends up going.
Saquon looks so sad out there sometimes. I feel kind of bad for him.
Look, it's a week-to-week league, dude. You remember a couple of years ago, this thing smoking the Packers about 72-0 week one, and then, I think the Packers ended up being better that year, maybe. Either way, maybe Rodgers even ended up MVP. Week-to-week, whatever. Bama Gump saying Texas is back. Other people saying, T-Bob, you need to pick Alabama to win every week. Okay, yeah, we'll get into that today. I have quite a few apologies to make today as I apply the clown makeup on myself, and I hate it that it's got to be to the U in Texas, essentially. But sad Alabama fans still make me happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not so prideful. I'm not so ruled by my ego as to be that upset about being wrong in Texas, Alabama, when it means that Alabama loses a double-digit game at home, and now the fans are declaring Nick Saban dead. Jalen Milroe sucks. Their tight end, 84, who had the big touchdown in the second half, was on Instagram Live last night dancing afterwards and singing and just triggering the Alabama fan base after the double-digit loss. So trust me when I say I can take a lot of pleasure in watching the fracturing of the tide. All right, let's find our way back to the Saints game here, though. Adam Fields, the Taysom packages are not disguised. Very obvious. Well, okay, so nobody used the word disguised. When you line up a different quarterback, you are correct. That is obvious. My point is, they tried on, 1st and 10 yesterday that one time. They tried to kind of the water around. I don't like that. I only want Taysom Hill in there, 3rd and 2, goal line, inside the 10. It's not that when he lines up, it's going to be hidden. It's just that he adds a body to block with. And then every now and then you can do some tendency breakers where he throws the ball, et cetera, right? So it's not, again, I don't think that the Taysom Hill package is subterfuge. It's much more like bringing just a blunt hammer to a fight and say, no, this is how we're going to do it, because you're adding a body, and Hill has such size and speed that when he gets going downhill, he's just hard to stop. Emil, the SEC as a whole is a down this year. Ole Miss has the only quality-ranked win against out-of-conference opponents, beating Tulane. And, yeah, even the Tulane win, if Pratt isn't hurt, who knows what happens in that game, because Tulane looked really fantastic for a while there. In the end, just couldn't sustain enough consistent offensive success to win that game. Okay, boys, Amar, you were at the game. Give me your main takeaways from yesterday with the Saints.
Saints defense is still the Saints defense. DeMario Davis leading all players with 10 tackles, I feel like kind of gets left by the wayside. But at age 32, he's still an elite NFL linebacker. And if him and Pete Werner could stay healthy, both of those guys played 100% of the snaps yesterday, this could definitely be top 5 defense. And offensively, I told y'all after the game, I thought Pete Carmichael called a hell of a game. Maybe you can nitpick a couple of things, like the guy talking about Taysom, but I thought he was really creative. The reverse to Shaheed that called back on a holding, I thought was an excellent play call. Shaheed gives you a whole nother weapon. I'm really excited for Kamara to come back. I thought Pete Carmichael had a really good week one. I'm kind of excited to see what he could do the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was and it's tough, I think, to call plays when your offensive line is kind of struggling to the extent that it was. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
And can I also make a point about Penning? Like, I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy, but it is his second NFL start. And if anything, it's a big adjustment just in the level of competition, like playing in Northern Iowa and then playing in the NFL week to week. I think he's going to have moments this season where he's kind of a liability, but hopefully he has enough good moments to where he can build on it, not be too much of a liability by the time you get to the playoffs, and still ultimately be a good player.
You can't declare him dead because of one performance. Like you said, he's essentially a rookie in a lot of ways, and he's going against now an NFL vet, a pretty salty NFL vet in Arden Key. And granted, at first, you're trying to trust him to do it on his own. Okay, then you accept, no, we got to give him a little more help. You just don't want to you can't ever get to the point where you have to help him every time, every single week. And I don't think that'll be the case. In that first half, you know, like you're watching a boxing match and a guy can get like dazed where he's just kind of in it, man. It seems like things are swirling and he's starting to eat punches, but he, you know, ding, 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 round breaks, kind of takes a couple deep breaths, finds himself, and then he kind of re-enters the flow of the fight, and he's fine. Like, that was kind of Trevor Penning yesterday. He took some haymakers to the chin, and his knees got wobbly. You know, everybody's saying, take him out, call the fight, TKO. He gets lucky, bell rings for halftime, and he comes back out in the second half, and he looked okay. Right? So even there, if we want to go full sunshine pumping on Penning, you can glean some mental toughness there, right? A positive response to very obvious adversity. And some of it was very fixable. Like there's one thing if a guy's beating you with elite pass rush moves, but some of those pass sets were awful. And it's not to say, I mean, look, and you could say, oh, well, that doesn't make me feel good. And I understand that, but that is really fixable. Like when he steps down and then just swings the gate wide open and creates this short geometrical line to the quarterback for Arden Key, like just kicks that correctly and you're good to go. And then that's not a problem. So I think, yeah, we're not going to overreact to Penning. Was it a bad game? Yes, but like we said, there's some good there in the latter half, and he's so young that you have to allow room for improvement and room to get better. You just don't want him to come like when you play a video game and you're going against a boss and it's like the big glaring weak spot where it's like, hit me here. Like he can't be that. I don't need him to be great necessarily just yet, and eventually I'd love him, find first round for him, but he just can't be that poor.
Yeah, hopefully it's reminiscent of what we saw with Teron Armstead. He had moments like that his rookie year. I remember a game against the Panthers where Greg Hardy kind of whooped his butt for 4 quarters, and it was a similar situation, right? He was coming out of Arkansas Pine Bluff, and he had some rough moments in his rookie year, but ultimately Hall of Fame caliber player.
Yeah, no doubt. Teron Armstead, yeah, I think that's. Again, I think it's weird because you have some guys like Ryan Ramczyk who just show up and dominate from the first snap on, and so they set these kind of false expectation levels for other humans who maybe need more time to develop and find their way. I mean, at least Penning's out there and healthy. And unfortunately, the other P is not, as Peyton Turner, it's announced after the game, turf toe, going to require surgery. Do we have a timetable on how long it's going to be?
Not yet, but turf toe is pretty significant. He's gonna miss a few games for sure.
Yeah. So I feel for Turner. I'm not even gonna sit here and attack him. I feel for him. It just sucks, and it probably feels like kind of the final straw in a lot of ways. Brian Brzee was really good. Jake walking in the room now saying he blocked a field goal. Yeah. Hold on. Now's not the time to make fun of Turner though. After the turf toe, that's a little, I mean, I don't know. I just feel kind of bad for the guy. But it's coming. I mean, he's going to have to keep hearing this noise. Brzee played well. I thought, rookie already making an impact, ends up with a sack, maybe?
Half a sack.
1.5, or did he end up with just a half?
I believe he got the half a sack, but he made a big impact in the game. He was getting penetration.
Yeah, man. Again, that interior defensive line I'm really liking. Jake Hester, fresh from dropping the kids off. I was about to go to break and then welcome you back in. Do you want to get in? A thought on the Saints real quick?
Well, I saw that, but then I couldn't help myself with the Peyton Turner stuff. No, Saints, great. Look good. Michael Thomas played the most snaps of any player that wasn't a lineman or Derek Carr.
Really? I did
not know that. The most of
that.
any skilled player.
Okay,
so,
dude, let's go.
Yeah, there's a thing to be excited about. Brzee, by the way, did play well. And they used him like we thought that they would. You're not going to play every snap. You're not going to be technically a starter. But when you come in to the game, you're going to try to wreak havoc, and I thought he certainly did that.
All right, so when we get back, we can get Jake's takes on the Saints. We're still going to get to LSU, still going to get to all the crazy weekend of football that was. Jake, sorry about your Chargers, man. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
just finding a way to lose.
You know, when you get used to that, I mean, you saw the pillow we have at our house.
I did.
So,
it's a great pillow. It says almost always win.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
For those that don't know, the Chargers decided to just commit like a blatant PI on a Hail Mary before the half and set up an untimed field goal, and then they end up losing by 2.
Yeah, I mean, why not? And they hadn't gotten a sack all game long, and then they give up 2 in a row to end the game.
Golly, dude. Well, when we get back, we'll get Jake's takes on the Saints yesterday. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. I love my friends and familia over there at All-Star Toyota. In there the other day, had to drop the vehicle off, gave me a rental. It was so easy. Miss Lisa says she got me hooked up, got me out of there. I had to go do snaps and everything was perfect because, well, All-Star just takes care of you. And they've got great deals that you can check out online if you want to start to kind of explore maybe what's out there for you. Also, ToyotaBatonRouge.com. Set up a test drive. Go talk to the sales staff. Go see them off of Airline Highway today, right? Figure out where your next vehicle is going to be, what it's going to be, all there at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
Yeah, maybe you're heading to Stark Vegas to watch the Tigers play this weekend. Remember, you can go ahead and rent that vehicle if you want to get something a little bit bigger, Sequoia, Sienna, whatever it might be. Or if it's just you and somebody else, or just you by your lonesome, you can get something better on gas mileage. All that is available, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade, time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to Six Rings.
It's Hunt. Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, reacting to Brian Kelly's press conference post-Grambling and Saints-Titans reaction as well. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Adam Hall with the questionable comment. Just stopping in to say Texas is that teen.
Whoa.
T-Bob, no offense, but you have no room to talk.
What?
I'm sorry.
No, all I'm saying.
Whoa, that's not a foxhole move.
We all know that Texas looked incredible this year, and I'm going to take all my licks this week.
Wait.
I'm going to take all my licks on Texas.
How
today,
did you have you mentioned that already?
No, I have not.
Okay, obviously, it doesn't mean as much.
Tour. I've got to. I mean, all I'm going to be missing is the clown makeup on snaps today, as Texas fans are just invading my mentions with all of my old videos and takes, of which there are many, calling them awful. And the crazy part is there was nothing fluky about it.
No.
But whatever. We'll get into Texas, Alabama later. But take a bow, Sark. I was way wrong. That said, Adam, that's a problematic comment. I mean, that, like, when somebody looks that good and you're that, yeah, I guess you're just, like, if you're a Texas fan, you felt incredible Saturday night. Teens should not make you feel the same way, Adam, if you're an adult. That's my overall point. That's what I'm getting at. You know what else is a galaxy brain moment that I had yesterday when they had the block punt? Never thought about this. For the receiving team, the difference between a blocked punt and a muffed fumbled punt is just the ball hanging in the air, right? Like, once it flies through the air, then if it bounces off your hands, it's a fumble.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take it off the foot before it flies, it's a block. It's not a fumble. How about that?
Yeah.
Just goes through some sort of magic metamorphosis as it flies through the sky.
And you can advance it. If you block it, you can't if it's muffed.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah,
what a weird little football quirk.
There have been times where the ball's blocked beyond the line of scrimmage and it goes to the receiving team because it's technically a muff.
It's like
It also, if you
really?
Yes.
if you block a punt, like if you block it, like it hits your hands, but it goes forward, it does not count in the stats as a block punt. It just counts as a regular punt.
Okay, yeah,
and goes
that
against
makes
the punters, like because
Like
I
net
did this
yards.
against
It
the
goes
Jets.
against
I
net
blocked
yards,
it and went 12 yards, and it doesn't count technically as a block. It's a 12-yard punt.
It's kind of like how, like, on an extra point, the holder's knee is down, but the play's not dead, right? Weird little funny quirk.
Yeah. American football, babe.
Jake, what do you think about the Saints yesterday?
Defensively, I mean, as advertised, I thought they did a really nice job against one of the better players in the NFL, and Derrick Henry, only holding him to 63 yards. I thought that was a really nice job of them gang tackling DeMario Davis a couple of times. Really got some good shots on Derrick Henry. So the defense really did a nice job. I heard y'all talking about Brian Brzee there for a little bit when I first walked in. He certainly flashed.
Yeah.
The new defensive line flashed. And so I thought there was a lot to like there. And if DeMario Davis can play at that level for the entire year, I mean, the Saints are going to be a tough out because, I mean, he looked like he hit the fountain of youth. Not that he, like, fell off last year, but you're getting older. You're playing a very physical position, and you wonder, can you keep up? It's a little bit like running back, but I didn't see any slowing down from DeMario Davis, so I was highly impressed by that. I thought Pete Warner had a really nice game. Granderson getting after the quarterback, like, that's great to see because what are you asking for time and time again? Who can be the guy opposite of Cam Jordan that can go out there and help this defense, that can take double teams away from Cam Jordan? And for Granderson to get a sack and a half, I thought that was nice. Tackle for a loss there. So I think he hit the quarterback 3 or 4 times. I think he had 3 or 4 quarterback hits. I mean, so he was in the backfield all day long. I thought that
Yeah.
all of that
Granderson
was
looked great.
All that was great. So
that was the saving grace behind that made up for Penning struggles was their left tackle was also awful, right? So it was kind of just bad on bad there. Both teams dealing with the same thing, and the Saints did a better job of mitigating it.
Yeah, I thought.
What do you think about Penning as an NFL player? Use your perspective on what it's like to be young, and he's kind of like his rookie year.
Yeah. It felt like he was trying to be perfect.
Yeah.
So most times when you're a rookie, you're trying to be so technically sound, and you're trying to make sure you don't have any MAs, missed assignments, and you look like a robot. And I felt like he looked like a robot. I felt like he was trying to do something that was him watching somebody else, and he's trying to imitate that. Like, he just did not look natural out there.
Yeah.
And it's a concern for sure. I mean, that's a good Titans defensive line, but this is who you're rolling with. Like, this is your guy. This is a first-round pick. Like, you're not going to just go sub somebody else in. Like, the only thing you could do is move Hurst back to tackle, but then you lose something on the interior. So it just looked like a player that was very robotic, didn't have any adjustments to any rush moves. So like some part of you's like, okay, well, if you just relax and maybe next game, but some of you's like, man, if you do that all season long, you're about to play some rushers that will do the same thing that happened to you the other day. And so it's a worry. I mean, it's very worrisome. And because I think outside of that, like when you look at Derek Carr and what he did, I thought when he was comfortable, like he was the quarterback you signed him to be.
Yeah, he looked really good.
But when you're under that much pressure, it's just, man, that could be very difficult for any quarterback.
Well, and even Carr, talking about the pick before half, said that he was just a little too pumped up.
Yeah.
This game, he was trying to prove the world wrong, and he said something along the lines of stupid or dumb. Like just flat out, that was really stupid or really dumb, and he wished he had it back. How we opened the show was kind of celebrating the fact that, yes, the offense was bad the majority of the game. Or we actually, red zone mainly, right? They would actually do a pretty good job moving the ball, and then once you got closer, they just it got awful. But when it mattered most, they made the winning plays. And that's the difference between last year and this year. And I would rather take an offense that will do that and then let's work on fixing our middle of the game red zone problems than an offense that can't get it done. Like the Saints didn't have it felt like a 4-yard rush all day long, and then they rip off an 11-yarder when they got to have it on 3rd and 4 to close the game.
Yeah, the rushing attack, it was not there. It wasn't. And the Titans, they're really bad against the pass a year ago. They were really good against the run. Like, that's what they were. And we talked about their defensive line, and Jeffrey Simmons is a monster in the middle of that defense, but you never could get the rushing attack going. I mean, Jamal Williams, 2.5 yards per carry, but as a team, you were 2.6 yards per carry. So, it didn't really matter who you were giving the ball to, and you don't have a lot of options.
No.
I mean, you got AK out, Miller's hurt, and so you don't have a lot of options. And so it was always going to be Jamal Williams. And it
wasn't a Williams problem.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I'd rely on you more, but to my eyes, it was more about the O-line.
That's a film that should be posted today. I would love to go back and look, and we can kind of grade the film on tomorrow's show. But think about so for the Saints, what you're talking about, you couldn't protect the quarterback and you couldn't run the football, and you still went out there and threw for 305 yards and won a football game.
That's a good point.
So your point of not being able to do that a year ago, we saw that probably 4 times where you had game-winning moments that you didn't make, and that's the difference between making the postseason and then staying at home. So that is good. Is there things to clean up? Absolutely. But you were at home. You found a way when you couldn't run the football because you have one back. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Tony Jones Jr. or anybody else in that backfield. You have one running back right now in Jamal Williams. Okay, you couldn't run the football, and your left tackle struggled against Arden Key. You still found a way to win the football game because I think the quarterback and receiver connection was exactly where you want it to be. You look at Olave, 8 catches, Rashid Shaheed, 5 catches, Michael Thomas, 5 catches, Juwan Johnson, 3 catches. I mean, you spread the ball to your playmakers. You couldn't do that a year ago.
Yeah, and again, the 3rd and 5 deep shot. Love that. Love that. Big balls, winning football, end the game.
Ooh, I got a little hairy.
The opportunity
I was like, is his foot down?
That catch was way sketchier than it appeared to be live.
Because live, it's like, oh my gosh, he almost tiptoed and scored a touch. No. That was. Whew.
Speaking of, Kayshon Boutte could have used a little toe tapping yesterday, not once but twice, including at the very end of the game. Booty, I guess, still thinking he was in college for the Patriots yesterday. All right, I think that'll pretty much do it for the Saints recap. Hell of a week one, big-time win. When we get back, we'll close out hour one. We'll kick off with weekend winners. We still got to get into LSU. We still got to get into CFB week 2, NFL week 1. Like I said, these Monday shows are full to the brim, and we love it. YouTube.com/@1045ESPN. We'll see you on the other side.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, Jake, what if I told you there is a true Louisiana tequila, okay? And you'd be like, well, that's impossible. That's me with blue agave from Mexico, right? Well, it is, right? But it's distilled right here in Deville. That's the Noel Family Distillery. I tried this out before I didn't even, like, they were not even on the radar for advertising with us.
Right.
I heard about it at the store. I went and picked it up late this summer. Watermelon margs, drinking it straight. You know me, I love my tequila and my mezcal. It passed with flying colors. So how happy I was when a couple of weeks later, I learned that Natalie Noel and the family want to team up with OTB. Let's go. Now the official tequila of LSU Athletics. You can actually get it in Tiger Stadium as well. Go try it for yourself today. Noel Family Distilleries. They got Reposado, Blanco. And look, they also got sweet rums, pickle vodkas.
Okay.
Pickle vodka's actually pretty good, bro. Noel Family Distillery. Shout out.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows, recapping a busy weekend. LSU Grambling, you'll hear from Brian Kelly, and we'll recap Saints Titans from the Dome. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Yeah, we were having a discussion in the break. I want to be clear. I don't hate Texas. I doubted Texas. I thought they were pretenders. I thought they were fake, right? And I have been proven wrong, and we can get into it later, but like I think what you saw looks very sustainably good and nothing fluky about it. And even though out of an overabundance of pride, I may have been cheering for Alabama Saturday night.
Ooh.
I do hate Alabama. And so again, watching Tommy Reese's head in his hands as he's stressed out making the call on the phone with Yelmer, that gives me so much deep pleasure. Seeing sad Alabama fans lose by double digits at home is beautiful. Seeing message boards posts about how Nick Saban is done, the run is over, and who can they get to replace him that can bring the program back to where it needs to be. These are things that I love, absolutely love. So look, man, life, sometimes life has to teach you lessons, okay? And
it's not like you were just with this out-of-the-world take that Texas wasn't going to be back. I mean, time and time again, they have proven people, that have said that they were back wrong. And they've proven people that laugh at that right for a long time.
For a long time. I mean, it hit until it didn't,
Yeah. It's like the Iowa under. Like it hit again. So it's like it's going to hit until it doesn't.
What was it? And also, I want to be painfully clear about this because I feel like I've been lumped in with this. I did not bet on Texas. Or excuse me, I did not bet on Bama. Like I didn't believe in him that much. There was enough out there going Texas' way. Like I didn't touch that game. I didn't touch A&M Miami. Overall, and we can get into that as well to you.
Oh, dude, look, I was pulling up to the LSU game on Saturday, and I was like, I don't care what happens the rest of the day. Miami beat A&M, I'm good. I was like, I'm good.
I saw Hunt, and like, if y'all know Hunt, like A&M is his team that he hates more than anybody. I saw him in the sports ad building when I was picking something up. He floated to the elevator.
Yeah.
Like that man was like just whistling and just floating.
So me and Hunt used to have a lot of arguments when I was on the midday because like Hunt's scared of what A&M can become. I'm always of the opinion A&M's always going to be what they are right now. So like me and him, we always go back and forth on that.
History is history, and they haven't won a national
100%.
championship since 1939. They've only won in our lifetime in this room. They've only won one conference championship. I'm not a young man anymore, all right? I'm 38 years old. They've won one in our lifetime. So, like, I understand what they have, but they've always had that. Oil's not new, right? Even with the now NIL situation, it's not even really new. Like, we've been benefiting for years now on NIL. And so the fact that they still have yet to figure it out, history tells you that they won't.
You know what's something that's crazy too, NIL and the transfer portal you just got me thinking about is as much as I thought that the portal would lead to an extreme concentration of power, and maybe it still does at some schools. Like, I mean, it certainly feels like Texas is as well placed as ever to really take advantage. But like, it has hurt Alabama, right? We've talked about this in the past, how like the depth that Alabama always had, the keeping around of these like 4 and 5 stars at the 2s and the 3s and them sticking around for some reason. Like, how do they do it, right? Well, that's now out the window. And so you're seeing that start to take root. So what has hurt Alabama, though, has also led to a pretty interesting democratization of talent where, like, the SEC feels down this year, but it's because a lot of these SEC backups that were good for recruits that, for whatever reason, couldn't win their individual pitching battle, have gone to other schools, and those other schools are getting immediately good as well. Like, all of a sudden, nobody's season is tanked because you don't have a quarterback. Like because you really, or like any position for that matter, right? You really screwed up your center, you can at least get something viable. You can at least get something viable if you do it correctly. And so all of a sudden, you have, it feels like, Jake, more good teams in college football than we've had in a while. I mean, one week we're championing UNC as being awesome, and the next week they're losing App State.
I would agree. I think a lot of the fear was that you were going to have separation. But I think what you're seeing now is the players that don't want to wait before, they're a junior or senior to be a starter in the SEC. Well, they're going elsewhere.
Yep.
And you're seeing, like, older players too. Like, maybe I'm a junior and maybe I play a little bit for Alabama, but I could go to App State and I can play and I can be the dude there. And so, like, that's why we go back to the experience chart so much, is because it plays true. Like, you have older teams. Like, Duke is an old football team.
Yep.
Florida State's an old football team. I mean, some of these teams, Michigan's an old football team.
Really good.
And, like, that is paying dividends for all these teams. The fact that they have all these older players coming from, different places. And that's why TCU had a bunch of transfers last year that were from smaller schools and then guys that hadn't had an opportunity to play. And so those schools that, like Alabama, that are used to having those guys just sit there, learn, wait, and then elevate, well, they're not there to elevate anymore.
Yeah, and it's probably not the best for, like, FCS because a lot of those guys go up. But that the P5 feels great right now.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Agaton, Baton Rouge, boys. What's AC? I don't need it. Okay. Yesterday was incredible, but chances are could be a false flag, like, false fall. I don't know. Maybe there's still 100-degree weather. Bottom line, any AC, heat, and electrical needs, you still want to go to Ag-Tim Baton Rouge. Okay, Ag-Tim. Admittedly, a weird way to start the read, saying I don't need AC. Because I live in the weekend, and I do need AC, okay? We all do. And so you want to partner, the proud partner of LSU Athletics, Ag-Tim of Baton Rouge. Go look at the online reviews and understand that you're going to get that service to the highest degree.
You are. And you do need AC, but there will be a point maybe down the road where you don't, because you'll need a heater. Now, I know that feels very, very far away, but we all know, like, at some point it will come. So they do it all over at AccuTemp, and make sure that your system is working like it's supposed to, and they're always going to when you're part of the Star membership, AccuTempBR.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, They've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family at Front to Back Boat Service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Monday, September 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 96. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of Weekend Winners coming up next, and Hold the Mayo joins the show at 9:15. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening? Ow. Hurt my knuckle. What's up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. Hour number 2. Can you believe it? Joel. Jake. Sorry, I was trying to do Gus Johnson.
Yeah,
Been watching a lot of Big Noon Saturday, dude.
I mean, why not? The Buffs.
Colorado's hitting right now, bro.
Another one coming up this weekend. It's the third in a row.
Yeah, to give you an idea, and I know I've already complained the first 2 weeks, and so I hate that I'm becoming grumpy old man here, but the week's 3 slate is actually the worst. Like
week two was good. I was never in agreement with you.
I know, and I still expect better, but at least you had one true heavyweight matchup. You had a bunch of good kind of, you had a lot of sneaky good in week 2.
Mm-hmm.
Week 3 looks awful. Like LSU, Mississippi State, maybe one of the Colorado State is game day.
I know.
21-point favorite.
Ew.
I think Big Noon Saturday is also going back there again, maybe.
They are.
So you're going to have game day and Big Noon Saturday at Colorado State.
I
love Prime.
3 weeks in a row for
Buffs.
Big Noon kickoff to be at a Colorado game.
Let's go Buffs.
3 weeks in a row.
I'm not going to lie. I got drunk yesterday. I drank about 1 million Coors Light during the Saints game. And then I bought 2 home field Colorado shirts.
Yeah, watch.
So I got a couple. I got some SCO Buffs gear coming in myself here because I've definitely fallen for them. The black unis are tight.
Yeah, I like the ones they wore week 1. I thought were even better, but just be careful. Mississippi State week. Don't wear Mississippi State gear.
Okay, I'll try my best.
You got some people coming after you when you do that.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Mississippi State. LSU's defense is gonna shut them down, dude. Easy money. We will get into LSU this hour, but first, let's start with some weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that?
Oh.
Win the whole thing.
Chuck Bro says he's about to start some Colorado paintings. Hell yeah, them things look tight, dude. You should do like a little combo of like, really get your Bob Ross on. So do like, beautiful Colorado mountainscape, but with like Shedeur Sanders and Xavier Hunter. So that'd be, Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
That'd be tight. Weekend winner, I'll start here. It's something that I already mentioned early on, and I'll give Andres Monterey in the chat credit here because I mentioned this early on, but it does bear re-mentioning for everybody just joining us. Weekend winner, the Saints decision-making staff, front office, Dennis Allen. I was very scared of the Groupie over Lutz decision, and Blake Groupie perfect yesterday when you had to be in a game you win by 1 point. Will Lutz missing his first extra point in a game the Broncos would go on to lose by 1 point.
Yep.
Football is a meritocracy. That's how we judge things. Congratulations. Take a bow. Good job, Blake Groupie. Weekend winner.
Also, I mean, you had the Saints punter was really doing a nice job as well.
Shout out Lou Hedley.
So far, so good. So far, so good.
Special teams as a whole was awesome.
All right, I got
Except for the fumble, which was more of a great play by the Tennessee defender.
Yeah.
Because that was crazy to somehow strip that ball and get possession and be in bounds. That was some NFL stuff right there.
Yes.
All right, I got to set this one up, T.
Okay.
So this is all on Katie and my mom. They were out shopping, and they saw this candlestick that was a corn cob.
Yes.
And so, like,
that's a long thin
look,
corn cob.
in times of need, like certainly in the Catholic Church, you light a candle and you pray. This is a corn cob candle. Weekend loser, Nebraska. We're going to light this on air, and we're going to see if that changes Nebraska's fortunes. Let's just let it burn during weekend winners/losers because I feel like Nebraska, they need this corn cob candle lit. They're 0-2. The corn hub is uneasy right now, and I feel like we need to let this burn just a little bit to get some bad juju off the Cornhuskers.
Dear maize yellow God up there in your beautiful cornfield sky, T-Cobb and Husker come to you today to pray for the gift of foresight and patience. Adversity strikes every man, and it's how you respond to said adversity that will define who and what you will become. The Corn Hub is not going away. The Corn Hub will be successful over time, but these stalks got to grow, okay? The seeds are planted. We just got to water these seeds and be shepherds over time. The Corn Hub will be just fine, but I do appreciate this candle. Thank you very much. Mario, what you got?
All right, tough to follow that up, but let's go to the NFL. For my first weekend winner, I'm going to give it to Jordan Love. Didn't have the best stats, 15 to 27 for 245 yards, but he was really efficient, rating a 123.2. Had to feel really good after riding the bench for 4 years and the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. So Jordan Love, definitely a weekend winner.
And his teammates were gassing him up after the game. That was cool to see. I should mention this. Corn Hub's going to struggle to grow while Jeff Sims is there. Jeff Sims, I feel another take that I was wildly wrong about. I used Jeff Sims as a reason why they would be good this entire offseason, and his ability to turn the ball over is nearly unparalleled.
Oof, you can't be that veteran of a quarterback and throw into some of the coverages that he does. Like, even if you're pressing, like, you have to know you can't do that. And my father-in-law called me during the Nebraska game. He's like, hey, where'd this Jeff Sims quarterback, like, where's he from? I was like, Georgia Tech. He's like, oh, like, he didn't start and he found his way to. I was like, no, he started for like 3 years. He goes, this guy.
Yeah.
He started for 3 years in college football. I was like, yeah, he has.
I mean, the problem with Saturday even, it's like, I knew he made the bad passes, but he just couldn't catch a snap. Like they'd get down near the red zone and he would just fumble. Why not? You know. Ryan Brack, how did the fire start? Well, sir, do you know what the Corn Hub is? Yeah, exactly. What you got, Taylor?
I'm gonna go a different NFC quarterback. My weekend winner has to go to Brock Purdy. The guy's 6 months removed from elbow surgery. He went 19 of 29, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was excellent in that game. He shut up a lot of people, all these people in the national media that were like, the 49ers making the right decision at quarterback. He let everybody know yesterday that they definitely made the right decision. He looks like the real deal. Shout out Brock Purdy.
Yeah, he looked great, man. He looked great. Weekend loser, me. You know, obviously, I'm an idiot. I was so wrong about Texas, and I was cheering for Alabama. Just a double loser thing on my part. Also, although I bet Colorado, being the leader of the Corn Hub, definitely loser for me as well. So I'm down bad. That's cool, man. But I ain't down as bad as Mel Tucker is.
No.
Oh my
No, you're not.
God, weekend loser Mel Tucker with the all-time bag fumble. Put it in the Hall of Fame. In case you missed it, Mel Tucker out at Michigan State after it is revealed that he was.
But do we have a final? Because it was like out, suspended, and then maybe out again.
Suspended without pay, but it's supposed to be like a formality. Like nobody expects him to
They're
do
probably going through
what
the
is
legal
going-
steps.
what is on
They have to
there?
close the investigation and fire him for cause.
What goes? Yeah, because that contract.
Yeah.
What, like Michigan State, multiple sports like has just issues.
So for those who don't know, it's a crazy story. So Mel Tucker, and we all know that Mel Tucker already had no business getting the $90 million contract that he did, right? But credit to him, he did it. That's always great, whatever. And then Michigan State went out of it desperately because he's been awful since. But Mel Tucker 2 years ago hired a woman sexual violence survivor to mentor his team and to work with his team, teach him how to be respectful women, teach him just about sexual violence and harassment and what's right, what's wrong. Okay, that's great. Then, in a move that can only be described as psychotically horny, he decided to get on the phone with said woman and masturbate and as she says when she told the school, re-traumatize her. Like it's and why I say psychotic is because it's not even just a normal horny. There is something a bit sociopathic
no
about
doubt.
choosing to do this with somebody who has not only survived everything you're doing, but who you hired to preach against the very thing you're doing.
Right.
And
Yep.
so now, with $80 million left on the contract, that's all going to go out the window because you wanted to have phone sex like it was 7th grade. Mel Tucker, that's insanely, again, sociopathically, psychotically horny and stupid.
This is a man who did not handle success well at Michigan State. Had a really good first season. Looked like he maybe had something going, but really all downhill since.
He, I truly cannot wrap my head around it. He should have ridden out that contract to buy out and been, living the life, chilling, feet kicked up with 50 mil. And now nobody's ever going to give him, he'll never get a contract like that again.
Never get.
Well, shout out to his agent, because remember, his name was everywhere. There were people down here who legitimately believed Mel Tucker was a candidate for the LSU job, which he never was. But,
Yeah.
I mean, his agent floating that name out there, that's how he got all that money. Like,
It's just so hard to wrap your head around. All-time loser, though.
Yeah,
Mel Tucker.
yeah, no question.
Good for Michigan State, though. You're out of it now.
On a better note, I'll go back to a weekend winner, and that is the Kansas Jayhawks. They get the victory 34-23 against Illinois on Friday night. The stadium looked incredible. They had their new black uniforms out there, and they look like a real contender in the Big 12. Daniels is electric at quarterback, and look, Bean as well. I love the two quarterback system that they were running, both in the game at the same time a couple of different times. The environment was great. Kansas football was just such a basement program, bottom dweller for so long. I mean, really since 2007 when they made that Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
And now last year they have success. This year looks like they're going to have even more success. Lance Leipold, take a bow, because this is a program that I didn't think anybody could find their way to be a winner ever again. And now they're out there beating good teams like this by double digits at home. And they won T-Bob and I money.
They won the boys big money this weekend. I did about 10x my normal bet on Kansas this weekend, and the Jayhawks made it look easy. Love you, Jalen Daniels. Who was it in the chat here? Mine not for in. So folks are guilty without even an investigation. Here's, okay, for the small brains out there, the smooth brains like mine not for rent. Look, first off, I don't find it hard to believe this woman at all when her literal entire job is preaching against a thing that she later went to the school about. I can't believe he did this to me, right? But whatever. Even if you're going to sit here and say, it was consensual, it was just that, you still can't do it, Mel. Like, that's not the, like you just can't do it. You opened yourself up to this. It is psychotically dumb, even if it was consensual. Again, which I don't think there's any reason to believe that it was. But even when it's psychotically dumb.
Not only that, T-Bob, he admitted to doing it, but we just talked about it. He's not technically fired yet. Like most people believe he is. Right now, he's just suspended without pay.
But again, I think that is just to
no, for sure it is. But I mean, he's acting like
here's the Mel Tucker quote of the situation. Miss Tracy's distortion of our mutually consensual and intimate relationship and allegations of sexual exploitation has really affected me. Wow. Okay. First off, make yourself into a victim, Mel. Great job. I am not proud of my judgment, and I'm having difficulty forgiving myself for getting into this situation, but I did not engage in any misconduct by any definition. Mel, that's the dumbest damn quote I ever read in my entire life. Not proud of your judgment, having trouble forgiving yourself. Yeah, you should be kicking yourself for the rest of the time. You should never forgive yourself. You screwed it. You fumbled the bag. Bad. Unbelievable. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll get back on track with weekend winner, and it's a team that T-Bob after week 0 had some big goals, some high-arcing achievements that maybe they could get to, and that's Notre Dame. They go on the road to Raleigh, North Carolina, and beat NC State 45-24. Sam Hartman throws for 4 more touchdowns, and it looks like this Notre Dame team, who we felt like was a quarterback away maybe last year from doing something special, now has that quarterback, and they might just maybe they can. Don't hit the corn hub can. We're trying to get all the bad juju out. They are on their way to potentially being that team that has an opportunity to play for a college football playoff and Sam Hartman to be in New York.
Hey, man, look, I hate to say it, but I called the Notre Dame's playoff team. Looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Week 4. That's what we got to get through. Ohio State, week 4, baby. In South Bend. Get it done, Hartman. What you got, Mark?
Unfortunately, besides the Giants, nobody in the NFL looked worse this weekend than the Cincinnati Bengals. Got blown out by the Browns, 24-3. Joe Burrow, after getting his contract, had one of the worst games of his career, 14-31, 82 yards, got replaced by backup Jake Browning. And coming into the year, I thought Burrow would be excellent. I was worried about the Cincinnati defense, losing Jesse Bates and Von Bell and others, but their offense looked awful. And unfortunately, it is not a good look for Burrow after getting the contract extension. So they're a weekend loser.
Oh, my God.
The weather was
Let's maintain
Deshaun Watson wasn't that bad.
Let's maintain a modicum of perspective.
Not
here.
Indicting him. I'm just saying
They
it wasn't a
started
good game.
1-4 the last 5 years. Burrow's never had a good week 1. The Bengals are going to be
last
just
year threw
fine,
5
dude.
picks in week 1.
He was bad last year as well.
The Bengals are going to be just fine. I would not hop off any Bengals bandwagon. I'd be much more like Giants terror, legitimate, because that's Daniel Jones. Cincinnati terror, keep it moving. Water off the back. Get it fixed. What you got, Taylor?
Yeah, I'm surprised it lasted this long. I really thought Mario was going to choose this. But weekend winners to the Texas Longhorns, we got to give it to them. I mean, like you said, I didn't want to bet on them either. I thought they'd be good in this game, but again, everybody kind of doubted them in this game. Nobody wanted to pull the trigger, myself included, but they were great. Quinn Ewers had a phenomenal football game. I think we can
God, he was so
we can consider him one of the top quarterbacks in the country. I'm playing this play right now, T-Bob. We were talking about this earlier. This is early in the second quarter. Look at the loft on this deep ball just into the basket to Xavier Worthy. That's probably the best throw I've seen all year, at least from games that I've watched. And he had a couple like that throughout the day. And look, they won this game by 10 points.
I know.
Nick Saban, since he's been at Alabama, has never lost at home by 10 points.
Yeah.
The last time he did was 2003 at LSU. Florida beat him 19-7.
Oh, I remember
That's the only other time
Skylar
Saban's
Green
ever
returned a kick for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I was like, we're good.
And then Texas could have scored more if they wanted to. I mean, they need out the ball with about 2.5 minutes to go when they were marching down the field. They could have scored again. They left points on the board.
They broke him. They out-toughed him. They out-hit him. They dominated both lines of scrimmage. Nothing fluky about it. Sustainable. So you say Texas back. I agree. Weekend winners. You want one more thing for you?
I mean, I considered doing Miami.
I was going to say, I'll throw the U in the boat. And I know
can't
A&M's not as impressive a win, but it's still, bro, Van Dyke looked awesome.
He was.
That was the big problem with Miami last year. Van Dyke was incredible 2 years ago, invisible last year. He looked like Tyler Van Dyke again.
So I actually bet on Miami this weekend. because I have zero confidence in Texas A&M. So I was a little less surprised by that. But yeah, shout out to them.
The Tyler Van Back, more like, you know?
And also A&M's just still A&M.
Yeah, for sure. But still, that's a big win for Miami. Miami needed that.
Huge win. They actually looked
How about
good,
Cristobal?
like fast and athletic. And
then how about Cristobal, like, kind of putting that gut out there? You don't notice that? I always think about Cristobal being super in shape.
Yeah.
Did you see him celebrating Saturday?
Look, he's been stress eating.
No, that's what I'm saying. He kept doing the double arms up, and, like, we're talking, like, you know, there was some gut.
Hey, we're not going to shame here.
Hell no, I'm celebrating it. I'm saying good on Mario Cristobal, who I've again called Christofraud forever.
Yeah.
So I am the fraud, but good on Cristobal for letting that fat hang out a little bit, boy.
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback on Taylor real quick. I know we got to go. We're long here. Like, Quinn Ewers was a perfect recruit. Like, he literally had, like, whatever the perfect score is on all these recruiting services, like 1,000, 100, whatever it is. You know, don't pay attention to it, but he had a perfect score. And there's only been 3 guys that have ever had that perfect score. Now, it's funny, they all play quarterback for Texas. But there was a lot of expectation. He goes to Ohio State. He graduates high school a year early, and it looks like it's going the other way. It looks like it's going to be a disappointing career.
Yeah.
And, you know, he'll tell you didn't handle things the way he should have at Ohio State and even early in his Texas career. In this offseason, he's like, look, I got to humble myself. I got to do things different. I got to be more of a leader. And he did those things. And now he's going out there and he's playing like that. The talent was always there. Now it looks like the mental makeup is there, which could be scary for the rest of the teams on Texas' schedule.
Yeah, I agree.
How he handles this success will be one of the biggest tests of his college career.
Texas back. Crazy thing. All right, when we get back, let's talk LSU Grambling finally. We have reviewed the film, and we'll give you our biggest takeaways. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
K2Z, K2Z, K2Z. It just means more coverage of your windows.
Yeah.
K2Z window coverage. Got your back, man. K2ZBlinds.com for any custom window installs you need, shutters, like electronic shades that are going to lower down, keep that outdoor kitchen exactly how you want it. Whatever you need, you want K2Z Blinds, go to K2ZBlinds.com today.
Yeah, when you go to the website, you will see right there on the homepage, shades, shutters, drapes, but also like exterior. So they can do everything in the interior of your home, but they can do multiple things outside as well. So when you set up that consultation, let them know what you're looking for. They'll come out and they'll give you an idea on both interior and exterior. Like for me, exterior, we're putting the shade outside. We've got a great space, but it needs some shade. And so they're going to come out, motorized. You press a button. Here comes that screen shade system we've been telling you about over the last couple of weeks. Call them today, 225-791-1220.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly...
It's Hunt. Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, reacting to Brian Kelly's press conference post-Grambling and Saints-Titans reaction as well. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Shake just a little bit faster. Shake just a little now, girl. I'm dying to meet you, so let's mess around. Got an obsession with us getting down. Come just a little bit closer. I just need permission, so give me the green light. Give me just one night. I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to go right now. We could go all night. Give me the green light. I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to go right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Champ, football season 100% back. I bet I gained 12 pounds this week, and today I feel like my gut is pressing against my arteries so hard I may pass out. I love it. Yeah, I had a similar experience. I kept it clean on Saturday, but man, yesterday, the weather was so nice. All I did was sit outside for about 8 hours straight, watching the Saints and 7 hours of commercial-free football, and just eating meat straight from the grill. Never even brought it inside, right? Grill some sausage down the gullet. Grill some hot dogs down the gullet. Grill some burgers down the gullet. Just kept grilling, kept eating. Eventually took my pants off, boots off, Coors Light flowing. Damn, it was a good Sunday, dude. Literal perfect Sunday. Started with just a great time at church. Reflection, thankfulness. Oh, beautiful. Sundays you live for. Yesterday. And then everybody wins. God, incredible.
Well, not everybody, but we didn't have high expectations for the Bolts. I told y'all before the game. Told y'all before. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I'd say you live and you learn, but
no,
we should know better.
I guess it just keeps
on
happening.
Yeah, it's fine.
To you. Yesterday I literally ate an entire loaf of Hawaiian roll slides alone. That'll do, bro. The when somebody brings the tray of the Hawaiian roll little sliders, where it's turkey cheese, ham cheese, whatever. But then have you ever had like a little onion glaze over the top? I mean, bro.
Yeah.
Those things, you get 10 to 15 deep in those things before you even realize. Because they just go down too smooth.
Are these Tic Tacs or sandwiches?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, like Jim said, you feel like you're going to die. But it's not an awful death.
But it's a good death.
Yeah. Scott Dice, grilled chicken kebabs yesterday. Get the hell out of here, Scott Dice. Sunday's not a day for grilled chicken kebabs. It's a Friday night pre-party thing where you maybe want to stay light on your feet. Okay? You need more pork, higher fat meat on Sundays. Grilled chicken
What if I tried to bring you a grilled chicken kebab on a Sunday?
Say, get that kebab out of my face. Does anybody know what that's a reference to?
Crab Rangoons.
Nope. Nacho Libre. Get that corn out of my face. Actually, it would probably play great.
Yeah.
No, we should have done that. I should have tweeted that after the Colorado game Saturday.
Yeah, that will be on Snaps today. That joke is going to land.
Maybe so. Maybe
Yeah.
so. I'm gonna try to find a way to work it in.
Yeah.
It is one of the inner sports.
Just get Danny to do, like, after you do it and then put it on social of you talking about it, and then, yeah, that'd be good.
Somebody just texted me telling you to ask you what you did yesterday. How was football practice? Can't believe you're practicing on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, we're out there grinding. And by the way, like I told the coaches this, it's like if we're going to practice at 4 o'clock on a Sunday, it's fine, but we have to rotate like noon, 4, because you get to watch the Saints, and they're always at noon. The Bush League Bolts play at 3:25.
Yeah, I would like to make a public service announcement with that in mind as well. I will, for about half the NFL season, will not be live tweeting the Saints games, as the Pink Pandas play soccer at 1 p.m. on Sundays. So I will be recording and coming at it late. God, things we do for our kids soon.
Yeah, we got the soccer starting on the weekends. I think we're Sundays as well.
Spencer P. describing his perfect Sunday meal. Give me some boiled chicken breast, no pepper, too spicy. A nice glass of milk and a half can of chickpeas. Oh, yeah, dude. It sounds amazing. Oh, man, I had one of the... two other things, and then we'll go to break early here as we get to Caroline next. The Ryan Fitzpatrick and Cam Jordan commercials, very, very funny. But the funniest commercial I've seen in years is Andy Reid asking for those nuggies.
Yeah.
And then his little fingers crawling across the table. The fingers tapping and crawling across the table to the nuggets made me laugh out loud the first 3 times I saw it. Like, that is legitimately, that is genius advertising. I love seeing just completely happy and free Andy Reid, where he's one of the all-time greats, and he can be nice and, like, goofy and everything. But
and NFL coaches are always so guarded.
Yes.
The fact that he knows his team is so good. I know they lost on opening week, but they literally lost with, like, dudes off the street trying to catch the football. And he can just, like, go out there and, like, have fun because he knows at the end, I'll be there. It's fine.
Give me those nuggies. Tap, 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 tap. It's got like a good like ASMR tap on the fingers too. You can feel the heft. I don't know if it's Reed's actual hand, but those are some stubby little fingers.
Yeah,
yeah. God, I love that commercial. Yeah, Cam Jordan's on fire right now. I'm glad to see Cam breaking through the advertising, despite like remaining true to his hometown team, not having to go to like a New York or an LA to get all these deals. Shout out Cam Jordan. Jeff G. Mahomes and Reed need to stop doing commercials and start worrying about football. Yeah, I agree. They're pretty bad at it. They've only won multiple Super Bowls and like played in every one since Mahomes been in the league. But yeah, they're pretty. I agree. Where are their priorities, dude? I can't believe Mahomes filled a TV show all of last season as he won the Super Bowl. What are we talking about? All right, when we get back, Caroline Fenton, keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all, you'll find luxury that lets you feel infinitely you. Visit your local Infiniti retailer today.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows, recapping a busy weekend. LSU Grambling, you'll hear from Brian Kelly, and we'll recap Saints-Titans from the Dome. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Cat and y'all, we're back. Monday at 8:30, which means it's time to talk to Caroline Fenton, Sirius XM Radio, also up there in Nashville as well. Saints beating the Titans. Caroline, what was the local reaction? Sure, everybody's very excited with Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, the local reaction is get him the heck out of there. And look, everyone has a bad taste in their mouth about the Titans-Bengals divisional round game in the playoffs in 2021.
Yep.
When Tannehill threw 3 interceptions and basically just pooped the entire season away. And everyone has been like dogging on Tannehill since that, locally, nationally. And I have been kind of defending Ryan Tannehill. I thought that was a really bad game. That was a really bad splotch in his career. But Ryan Tannehill is not that bad of a quarterback. You can't ask him to do too much, but really for the most part, like, he can play it safe. He can win you some games. After yesterday, I can't defend him anymore. I mean, the fact that he was a 1-point loss and he threw 3 interceptions, like, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. Brutal offensive play calling, brutal throws from Ryan Tannehill. Not great vibes here in Nashville.
Yeah, and the lowest QBR of his entire career. Quarterback rating, maybe not QBR. I never know which they're referencing, but 22.2. 11 years, never been worse in a single game. How about that? Caroline, but don't worry. We all sometimes have egg on our face as, I learned this weekend. as I have declared Texas dead, soft, done, and buried, and I'll be damned if Texas isn't all the way back.
You told me last week, because I said I think that Texas might beat Alabama, and you said you're picking Steve Sarkisian to beat Nick Saban and Brian Denny. And I kind of stepped back, and I had to do some serious introspection. I was like, am I actually doing that?
Yeah.
Am I picking this coach that's never won a big game in his career at Texas to upset the greatest coach of all time with a team that is 52-1 at home in their last 53 games? Like, I'm seriously going to do that?
Sounded good.
And I thought, actually, yeah, I am going to do that, just because I wanted Jalen Milroe to prove to me that he could win a game with his arm when Texas took the run away, and he couldn't. So I think that I have learned what I needed to learn about Jalen Milroe, and credit to Quinn Ewers, because when he needed to step up in a big way in a big game, he did it. He didn't make those mistakes that Jalen Milroe did. The offensive line was able to protect Quinn Ewers like Alabama's wasn't with Jalen Milroe. So I'm not declaring Texas back, but I am declaring Texas getting dangerously close to back territory.
Caroline, the entire SEC, it's not just Alabama, has not had a great start to this college football season. We saw North Carolina beat up on South Carolina in week 1. Florida State beat up on LSU. And you just look around, A&M gets beat up by Miami. I mean, time and time again, the SEC is not showing up for these non-conference games. Mississippi State goes to overtime with Arizona. Texas does what they do on the road against Alabama. This is as bad as I've seen the SEC look in the non-conference play in a very long time.
Just to put that into perspective, with all of the opportunities for the SEC to win those big games, all those games that you just mentioned, the SEC's best non-conference win might be Ole Miss's win over Tulane. And that's a group of 5 team that didn't have their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Like that's a bad look for the SEC. And as an SEC homer, I think it's a bad look for the conference, but I think as an LSU homer, it's a great thing, because Alabama dropping that game to Texas, Texas A&M dropping that game to a Miami team that I don't really think is that spectacular. That leaves the SEC West wide open. And I think right now Georgia's in a class of their own in the SEC, but this is an incredibly winnable division. And LSU's schedule to me looks a lot less daunting just based off of the in-game play that we've seen from the rest of the SEC West and how horrendous Florida is.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the big takeaways from LSU, and we're still going to talk LSU today, and we will. But, I think, again, Florida State's really good, top 5 team, right? So I think that was more about FSU being good. When I look around the SEC, who is LSU just clearly worse than? You can maybe say Georgia, but we're not really going to know anything about Georgia all year long. They're not clearly worse than Alabama. They're not. I mean, Tennessee, you got some stuff to figure out in Tennessee, Carolina. I'm sure the locals are none too pleased there either right now, as tied at half or barely going up before half against Austin Peay was a bit weird to see. But, yeah, LSU as alive as anyone in this SEC race, for sure.
Yeah, I think the only thing that does concern me is even though Texas A&M's defense looked pretty bad against Miami, they let Tyler Van Dyke really do whatever they wanted to do, and Texas A&M's defense never really made those adjustments. So as much as Texas A&M's defense shot them in the foot, and as bad as Connor Wigman's 2 interceptions might look on a box score, I still believe in this Texas A&M offense. I think Connor Wigman and that marriage with Bobby Petrino, that's the right pairing. That's the right match. That's really the only thing that does concern me in terms of LSU in this SEC West race. But I kind of think about it, and I think Connor Wigman might be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's not really getting a lot of favors from the rest of his team. But that is one concern about LSU playing A&M late in the season, is how much better can Connor Wigman get, and how much more can they figure those things out?
And LSU's defense, Caroline, maybe leaving a little bit to be desired to this point.
What was that? What?
It's bad defense. We reviewed the film. It was the bad part is there's no easy answer. It was bad, out of place, getting blocked, just bad defense.
Just overall, just letting Grambling really throw the ball, run the ball all over the yard. And, credit to the coaching staff for making those adjustments and essentially shutting Grambling's offense down in the second half. But when you get into SEC play, you're not really afforded those opportunities to be able to give up a bunch of points, give up a bunch of rushing yards, make those adjustments, come back, and then keep yourself in the game and have a 62-point win. Like, you can't do that against Mississippi State. No. You can't afford yourself the time to need to make those adjustments. You need to be firing on all cylinders right off the bat. So the defense, getting Mason Smith back, I was expecting a massive statement, I'm back kind of performance, and we didn't see that from Mason Smith. Harold Perkins kind of settling back into, a few more snaps out on the edge. He wasn't the game breaker, impactful player that we are so used to Harold Perkins being. So it's absolutely a concern, especially when I expected the defense to be the highlight of this team when the offense really stole the show against Grambling.
Caroline, let's look at big picture college football. So stepping outside of the SEC, which team has been maybe the most impressive in the country? And do you still have Georgia as a number one team in the country after a couple of weeks?
I think the most impressive team to me might be Florida State. And Colorado is absolutely up there.
Yeah.
Colorado's already done way more than I thought Colorado would do, and it's just through 2 weeks. Yeah. How good of teams are Nebraska and TCU? That's still, kind of left to be decided. Maybe TCU is not, the reigning national champion runner-up that they were last year. Maybe Nebraska really, needs more time for Matt Rule to get his offensive philosophies kind of settled in. But I've been impressed with Colorado and just the discipline and the talent on that team. Travis Hunter's, I think, one of the best players in college football. Shedeur Sanders has been better than I expected him to be through 2 weeks. But I think overall, Florida State might be the most impressive and most dominant team in all of college football.
Hey, Caroline, before we get you out of here, though, let's go back real quick. One final LSU question as they head to Mississippi State. It's going to be an early kick on the road. Any kind of early prediction heading into Starkville?
Unfortunately, I think the run might stun LSU in the beginning. I think Mississippi State is going to be able to run the football, but I think overall LSU will make those adjustments. I think the red zone defense has looked better this past week than it did look against Florida State. So even if Mississippi State is able to run the ball, able to get things close to the end zone, ultimately that LSU defense will keep them out of the end zone. And I think ultimately they'll make those defensive adjustments. So they take the run away from Mississippi State, which is weird to talk about Mississippi State in a run game. It's not something that we've seen a whole lot, but we see the Zach Arnett offense adding a few more of the ground game into the offensive philosophies of the air raid. So I think that LSU wins this game. I think it might be closer than anticipated. I think LSU is favored by 9.5 points. I think it might be a touchdown win. But overall, it's a get right. It's a prove yourself, get a win in the SEC. It might not be pretty, but a dub is a dub, and you'll be better because of it.
Caroline Fenton, Sirius XM College Football. Thank you, Caroline.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
All right. Well. Also up there daily in Nashville. That's exactly what Mississippi State was last year, right? You kind of had to prove yourself, get ready. Well, let's get into LSU next because we got a lot to speak on there. More OTB coming up.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, right there off of Airline Highway. Go find your next Toyota. The best deals in town, the best service in town, the best service department in town. I love getting the text updates, staying abreast of the situation constantly as it's developing. No big work or anything done without your final say and approval. If you need to rent a car in the interim, they got you. They can shuttle you. You can wait there. They got free popcorn. Whatever, man. It's all there for you at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
It certainly is. And if you're buying new and you want to customize your vehicle, if you want your own version of a murdered out Mini or whatever it might be, remember, you can always add features, certainly, but you also can take some features away. Like if you're like, I won't use that. That's not going to help me and my crew. Then you can do that. It's whatever you want it to be. And you can do it on the homepage of the website. Once you go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com, click on new, go down to build your Toyota, and you can do it there, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, I'm happy to say we have vehicles in stock and more coming in at no markup. Don't pay over MSRP. Come on down to Corvell Toyota and choose your new Toyota today. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
It's Hunt. Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, reacting to Brian Kelly's press conference post-Grambling and Saints-Titans reaction as well. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. But they fought with expert timing. There were funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them up. They were chopping them down. It's an ancient Chinese art, and everybody knew their part. From a fainting to a slip.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. All right, we can start our LSU talk here. LSU beating Grambling. Film review. Very surface level here to start. Pretty much a perfect offensive game. Maybe a couple of Shelton Sampson drops away from being a perfect offensive game, though. Just really high execution on all offensive fronts, which, you know, obviously the final score would be indicative of that. It's tough to draw too many conclusions for all the reasons that we know, though, or too many positive conclusions, because when you turn on the film, Jake, I mean, Grambling is literally half their size. And it seems like a pretty well-coached Grambling team. The quarterback's dynamic. Like, I mean, I like how they played. But unfortunately, in these sorts of games, you do something good, and it's like, okay, good, that's what you're supposed to do. You do something bad, it's like, how in the hell did this happen?
Yeah.
And so the defense going down there struggling is actually the story here, because it was really, really poor early on. It was, and it was bad in multiple different ways, kind of bad all over defensively.
It was, and there's gaping holes in the defense, and that is troublesome. And just, again, like quick surface look at the tape, there's guys that losing like their technique, certainly in the run game. The fits were poor. Guys just going out there and ducking their head and diving at ankles. So there's a lot that has to get fixed there. And I think more importantly, like, you have to be in the right spot. Like, yeah, your technique is poor as well, but you got to be in the right spot. You have to take on the block with the right shoulder. Like, if you're a linebacker and you're spilling it to the safety, like, spill it to the safety. If you're not supposed to spill it to the safety, you've got to take it on with the other shoulder and send everything back inside. And so those are things that certainly flashed to me in this tape. I agree with you, like, offensively, there was a lot of good, but defensively, certainly in the first quarter, I mean, they drove the ball down the field at will.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, I mean, look, there was like the crazy formation that one time, right? That led to a big play.
Polecat.
I can take that. You know, I can take that. What I can't take is Zy Alexander getting mossed, losing contain, everybody doing the wrong thing on a 2nd and 12 run that goes for about 40. Diver Harris getting mossed. Diver Harris PIs. Harold Perkins getting beat inside on a slant. A zone read where Swinson loses contain. Omar Spades goes the complete wrong direction on an awful read. Like, it's just like you're losing. In the beginning of this game, you were losing being out of position. You were losing just being blocked. And then you were even losing the raw talent battles at times, which was weird, like the getting mossed portion of this. Or, again, just like
really
Mason Smith just getting blocked.
Sorry to cut you out. Like, I was going to just jump in, like, when you talked about, like, losing your individual battles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we could talk about you being in the wrong spot, bad technique, all those things. But when it's 1-on-1 and it's like you make a play or they do, and they made the play 3 times, that's where you start to shake your head.
The Moss Club is growing a little too much for my liking.
That's what,
thus
5?
far in this season. That's 5. And everybody's in it.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's left
It's not
out
very
this club.
exclusive.
Nope, come on in. There ain't no line at the door. You get in for free.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bone.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, live Baton Rouge. Operator, what you put me on through? Gotta send my love down to
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parlay section. There's no feeling like nailing a same game parlay bet. So lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook and have a chance to win big. If you're new to FanDuel Sportsbook, get $150 in free bets. That's right, win or lose with the promo code THETIGER, THETIGER, and you can make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-797.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Monday, September 11th. Happy birthday, Taylor. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 96. Coming up on OTB-OT, we talk to Hold the Mayo at 9:15. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Welcome back, OTB. We didn't mention this. I meant to mention this off the top, and I slipped my mind, which is crazy, and it shows you how wild time works, but it is September 11th. And so, again, thoughts and prayers for all of those who remember that day, affected by that day. Pretty crazy thing I read this morning where nobody in high school or under, or majority of college for that matter, are actually alive when it happened now. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But
gosh, I guess it has been, 20. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I was a sophomore.
Yeah, it was like 7th grade.
Definitely one of those moments whenever you found out the news, like you heard it. I don't know how y'all, I mean, gosh, I mean, I know y'all are a little bit younger. T-Bob certainly would have been old enough to remember, like hearing the initial news of accident in your thought process, because you didn't have phones and Twitter and everything to tell you what was really going on. And then you hear a plane, crashing into the World Trade Center. You're like, oh, complete accident. Like, what could have happened? Was it a small plane? And then you find out, like, commercial plane. It's like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
And then, like, you start to get more details. And, like, being in Shreveport on that day, President Bush actually flew into Barksdale Air Force Base, which is in Bossier, right across the Red River. And so, like, our entire city shut down. I mean, I remember, like, every detail. Like, I don't remember a lot. Like, I can't go back in memories like that, but, like, know every detail. I remember who told me about the news. It was, so it's, oof.
It was a surreal day. It was a surreal day, tragic day, surreal time, really. And so, a huge thank you to all the firefighters, first responders, policemen, military members, everybody that day who did their job. Sometimes when that job, caused them to lose their life. Also, impossible transition here. Taylor, it's your birthday?
It is my birthday. My 27th birthday today.
Wow.
Getting old.
So when you were 5 years old, basically your birthday just
I was in kindergarten.
Disappeared for a minute.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, impossible pivot number 2. Let's go back into LSU Grambling here. Let's run to the offense because again, I don't think you can spend much time there. I will say this on Jaden, couple drops early on, didn't let it get to him. Beautiful deep throws, taking the top off the defense, taking advantage of your better weapons. Great marks by Jaden, right?
Yep.
On Nussmeier, he was perfect. Should have, I think he finished 4 or 6. Should have been 6 or 6. Shelton Sampson dropping not 1 but 2 touchdowns. So certainly would have hoped to see a bit more from Sampson in his first action, but absolute dimes delivered by Nuss. Both quarterbacks look great. The offensive line mauled, but guys were half their size.
Yeah.
So they should have mauled. I will say this. You saw Lance Hurd at right tackle this game, and it's impossible not to get a bit excited. Now, it's a situation where it doesn't need to be a one or the other thing. This should be celebrated because you now have a lot of depth in that offensive line room. Like, Miles Frazier is still good. He should, for now, probably still be your starting right guard and Emory Jones at right tackle. Maybe this changes. Maybe there's a rotation. By either way, that's good. It keeps guy fresher going in the fourth. Like, this is good for the team. But Lance Hurd is massive. It is shocking how much better 53 looks on him than me. He has long arms. They hang down to his knees. He's got violent hands, Jake. Quick movements. To be that big, great natural feet, strong base, like passed off stunt swell even. Like, if mentally he can make the calls, I want to test this guy against some better competition. So some nice depth being found there.
Yeah, of the players that graded the highest, like the guys that played a majority of the game, your leaders on offense, Will Campbell, Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Lance Hurd
there you go.
Came in number 4 overall. Now you had Garrett Nussmeier and Bo Borderline, who played 23 plays apiece, and they both had the highest grades. And so shout out to them for a big day. But of the guys that played a majority of the snaps, over 50 snaps, Lance Hurd, 54 snaps, and graded out at 81%.
He looked awesome, dude. Again, it's Grambling. DJ Chester looked big as hell at center. He struggled a little more. He had a couple snaps that were a little late, kind of moving the timing. But, I kind of like Marlon Martinez, I feel a bit for, man, because he came in here and you could tell, he's been trying to want to show off this improvement. He comes out 4 pancakes in a row.
Yeah.
Just baptizing cats. I hope Marlon Martinez finds some playing time, some way into the rotation this year. One of my overall takeaways positively, though, is the second offensive line and just that whole room in general is light years ahead of where it was even back in 2019 when the backup offensive line was just an absolute joke.
Yeah, it's a bomb squad, a true bomb squad, and now they finally have some depth there, and that's something that, Brian Kelly's done his entire career is try to juice up that room. And then we were talking about, I think it was on Friday, like during the break, like it's odd, like you actually have good offensive linemen in the state, like really, really good ones. And then it's like now finding a DB in the state has been kind of a challenge. And so that's kind of flipped. But
why couldn't they just line up? Why can't we have both things at once? Why can't we have an elite offensive line with Louisiana and elite DBs?
Yeah.
Now instead of DBU, we become DB poo.
Well, the good thing about the offensive line, like even when you had some in the past, Cam Robinson, like they've gone elsewhere, you've kept every one of those players in the state of Louisiana. And with Campbell and Jones and Hurd, like you have 3 solid pieces moving forward, and you're going to have Jones and Campbell for at least one more year after this year. So those were good things. One thing, if I'm kind of nitpicking here, the running backs had a big day on the ground. Like Logan Diggs had some real juice. Josh Williams, both those guys had over 7 yards of carry. Noah Kane came in, kind of closed the game. Caleb Jackson, he flashed. The backs in protection have to be much better. They still are struggling. Like bad leverage, bad technique, throwing when you shouldn't throw as far as cut blocking. And
I'd like to see them get on their routes faster, too, when they're doing a scan.
It was the same thing as it was last week.
Yeah.
Like, know what you're looking at and eliminate things that can't possibly come, right? They cannot, from where they're at, they're not blitzing. So don't even, worry. Like, you give that a glance, and then you're out. Like Logan Diggs in pass protection, 9.2%. Josh Williams, 8.7%.
Yeah.
Like, those are some of the lowest grades you'll find in pass protection. It was a story in week 1. It's still a story in week 2. If you want to be in there and you want to be this running back that runs the football, we all know you can do that. But you cannot fall into bad tendencies like, hey, man, anytime he's on the field, he's either going to get the ball or he's going to be free release. Like, you can't do that. And so they got to go way up in that. And I'm talking about, like, in every phase of the pass protection.
So jumping over to the defensive side of the ball, which, again, that's where the problems lied. I wanted to focus in on Mason Smith when watching this film, and you could tell that is someone who has been out of football for a while early on. I do not think things would have gone well for him against that Florida State offensive line, for whatever that's worth. Like, it kind of does change my retrospective there, where I'm like, okay, the fact that he didn't play maybe isn't the worst thing, because he got better as this game went on. He, like, early on, Jake, playing too high, guys were just sticking on him. I mean, tiny guys half his side getting on him, and then him not getting him up. He started to shed more at the end. He had some nice swim moves at the end. So, like, he started to get it going, but you'd watch, like, Mekhi Wingo next to him. Mekhi Wingo's got them heavy hands. Like, he's coming out his hips, Mekhi's boom, bah, extended, whereas Mason Smith was letting guys in on him. So, struggled at first, finished better, but the road of expectation, let's maybe blunt our expectations for Smith a little bit as he tries to refine his football form.
I mean, so yeah, I'm looking at, we watch the tape, and then we're looking at the grades, and the grades kind of tell the same story. 56 overall, 41 in the run game, 69.7% in the pass rush, and the run fits or something. Now, Mason was the one guy on the defensive front that had a poor grade as far as run fits, but I'm going to go back a couple of levels. Like Mason Smith, I feel good. Like, he'll find his way as he gets more reps. I mean, he hasn't been on a football field in over a year. But, like, when you look at the safety position and Burns and Sam, and then you look at Ashton Stamps, some of the DBs, like, their run fits, like, you watch the tape and like, ooh, man, that is not where you're supposed to fit. And then you look at the grades, 39%, 41%, 45%. Like, once you get to the second level, you have got to do a better job of, if the linebacker is spilling it to you, filling that gap and not just come in there and dive at ankles. Like, you'll get in some real trouble. And that's why you saw some long runs against Florida State at the end, and then certainly here in this Grambling game. Like, run defense is 3 levels. It's not just up front. Like, you can't just have 2 really good defensive tackles and go out there and dominate. It's got to be the linebacker play has got to go up as far as what gaps that they fit, and not let the eye candy take them out of what they're supposed to be doing. We saw that multiple times. So the second and third level, as far as run fits, if you don't get that fixed, and it's this week, because Mississippi State is no longer air raid, you're going to be in some real trouble. Those SEC backs, those 40-yard runs turn into 80-yard runs.
Yeah. Hope you like offense, because you're going to need it this year, it feels like, with this LSU defense. What do you think about Harold Perkins? They hadn't played more like a nickel linebacker this game, where at first I was like, I think I might hate this even more, but he actually had a couple okay coverage moments. He had a big hit the first play of the game. That was nice to see. He plays hard still, if nothing else. He started getting some pressure as the game went on. It's still just wild to me, though, that you can't find a way to have Harold Perkins impact a Grambling game.
Almost like just terrorize a Grambling game.
Yeah.
Is I think what a lot of us were looking for. It's still not what it needs to be.
I think Greg Brooks and Mekhi Wingo are the only players I like on defense.
Right now. Yeah. Of the starters, of the guys that are out there and starting and playing every play. Yeah, I mean, the first play, it's just like there's so much space where Harold Perkins, I mean, he's a nickel Sam right now.
Yeah.
That's what he is. And even like now, even when he did rush, like I saw a lot of bull rushing. Like we didn't see any moves that we saw a year ago.
He had one good hand swipe that I liked. Kind of the same, a little bit of that same ghost inside-out hand swipe that he used last week against FSU on the touchdown where he had his only good rush. So, I don't know.
That's got to, like, you got to get some more pressure.
What do you think, okay, with Perk, is that more scheme-related or player-related? Like, I don't want to go, like, it's interesting. One of my takeaways from this game is also that maybe I was a little hard on the offense week 1, that yes, they look stale maybe in comparison to Mike Norvell, but this is like still an offense that is going to have a ton of success, and I think I believe that.
Yeah.
And so I'm not just trying to be reductive, make everything into the coach has got to be better, but like it is a little shocking that Matt House seems to have this weapon in Harold Perkins that he just doesn't know what to do with, or can't figure out what to do.
But we know he does because he's done it in the past. That's the circle that I can't square. That's what I can't figure out. And so like I'm gonna be honest, like because why would I not be? My worry is that you feel like you can't afford to put him in the position you did a year ago, because the position he's currently playing right now, there's nobody else that can come in and play that position to that level. And that's where you start to get worried. Because it's like, man, if he went back to where he was last year, like who comes in for that position? And right now we don't know. So it's almost like you need somebody to come in and take that position over, because there's no rhyme or reason sometimes where he's lined up.
I know. I didn't actually consider that.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have one sack, by the way. Let's point that out.
I know.
You have one sack in 2 weeks.
And one of those games is Grambling. Look, to me, man, it's all still very much in the air. I come away from this game, feel better about the offense. I feel kind of significantly more worried about the defense. They got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out fast. Because that SEC schedule, that last touchdown throw by Tua. That SEC schedule is hurtling towards you. And, I mean, again, 9-3 still feels like the play here. You're capable, if the defense can prove it, like the offense is capable of beating Alabama in T10. I do believe that. I don't know, even with the struggles that Alabama may have offensively this year, like Jalen Milroe would pick apart this defense right now. He would feast on it. So, still got a lot to clean up on that side of the ball. Punt return remains pretty awful. You did return one kick in which you had about 30 yards of cushion. 15 yards of cushion, you're still fair catching, which, whatever. I did like kick coverage, though. It's pretty aggressive kick coverage this game for whatever that's worth.
You did. You did certainly had kickoff coverage but the return game still just becomes something that I can't wrap my head around. I know we've talked about it plenty of times. You're at a place like LSU, you should have 5 guys that should be able to go out there with confidence. And, like, I understand where the coaching staff is, because it doesn't feel like you have a guy that has that confidence right now. Like, I guarantee you the coaches are not telling you to fair catch with that much cushion. That is a personal decision.
Yes. Yeah.
That you're going out there and you're making. Like, you gotta believe, you got to trust your blockers, because it has become, over the last 2 years, something where it's not even – it's basically like it's not a real play. It's that threat is just not there. Like it's fair catch or muff. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a play where at times in LSU history, great teams, it's been Skylar Green and Buster Davis and Trenton Holiday, and we can go on and on. It's been Trey White was awesome, Pat Pete, Honey Badger, like on and on and on. We can go returner. And it was a thing that was a positive for you. Like it was a game-changing type play almost every time. And now over the last couple of years, it's been something where you kind of look away.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still, I don't know. Maybe this doesn't solve it. I would have liked to see him commit to like a full-time special teams coach in the offseason, but whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't know. Does magic make you get a good returner? No. Probably not. I just don't. I don't think Aaron Anderson's that guy. Not yet in his career, anyway. We'll see. So a bit of a mixed bag from LSU over the weekend. I mean, look, on the whole, positive. I would say I emerged singing because the offense looks so good. Like I love the 2-minute drive at the end of the first half. So I think I emerged more positively, but with defense, man, just got to figure it out. But like I do think Mason Smith's going to continue to find his form. I still like Swinson off the edge. I thought Stephen Jones played well here. Linebacker scares me a bit. Secondary terrifies me. But, you have some receivers and an offense that could terrify people as well.
Yeah. I want to go back real quick because I want to mention Caleb Jackson. I do like him as the kickoff return guy. Like I like a running back in that position because, I mean, a lot of it is like you're reading a run block. Certainly like when you have like I know you can't really do a 2-man wedge, but you try to as best you can. Right, and you're reading those blocks like you are a running back, and Caleb Jackson had a couple of nice returns. I think he had like a 30-yarder I like him in that position because I like the ball in his hands. Maybe he's not ready to play offense just yet, but he can be a really good returner. Is he going to hit a 90-yarder? Maybe not, but you feel really good about him consistently getting you in good field position.
All right, when we get back here on OTB, let's do a little spread lines with the now famous Hold the Mayo. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
OTB, OT.
CentralPlum.org, CentralPlum.org, 925-8552, 925-8552. CentralPlumbing.org is the website. The number is the number. You call that number. Take advantage of the 24/7 emergency service from Central Plumbing. Weekend, weekday, holiday. It does not matter. They are there for you. They've seen it all because they've been doing this for 5 decades, y'all. 50 years they've been at it, okay? And the only way that happens is because your customers are consistently satisfied. They've seen it all. They fixed it all. I love Central Plumbing. You will too, centralplumbing.org.
Go to the website, and right there on the homepage, you can click on bathroom remodel. You can get that consultation set up. They come in, look at your space, tell you exactly what they can do for your space, and that's at your home or business. So if you own a business, maybe it's even like a downtown where you've got the entire floor to yourself and you got multiple restrooms. They can come in, they can upgrade that. The full fleet is always ready to go. CentralPlumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Officially, it's a fridge full of beer. Unofficially, it's free AC. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Running Bart's marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Board's marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows, recapping a busy weekend. LSU Grambling, you'll hear from Brian Kelly, and we'll recap Saints Titans from the Dome. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yeah. A great call. Jake had me laughing right before he came back on air now. Talking about we should have known when Myles Garrett was doing crossovers that the Bengals were in trouble. Did you see that pre-snap, Taylor? Was that like the first play of the game?
It's in the first quarter. It's not the first play of the game.
12 minutes to go in the first quarter, so it was in the first couple minutes of the game.
I just saw it for the first time. Busting with the Boys had it on their Instagram. Cool, I mean, he is doing like crossovers in front of the center and then beats the center in like 2 seconds.
Well, because that's the best part. Like basketball, he's setting the center up for the move. Like he's walking down on him. They had him at middle linebacker, which when did this start happening?
He's right over the center.
A lot this game. He had like 20-something snaps there or something.
Because
he's walking up cross.
You can play the middle, a rusher. You can play a rusher at middle linebacker if you do things like we're talking about, lining up over the center. You have a really good rusher matched up one-on-one with a center. The rusher's, going to win that more times than he's not.
Yeah, no, bro. As a center, I don't want to be one-on-one.
That's
not my job.
That's what
my
I
job
was
is to make calls and snap the ball.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be one-on-one.
Not
Harold
space.
Perkins.
Not if you do a good job of sending the guards out.
Exactly.
Because by your alignment, your scheme.
Yeah, that boy though. Wah, da da da, and then he was gone right past him. That was cool. That's all. Like that. It's so rare. You have to be so good to get to a point where you can feel that comfortable in the NFL football field. You know, it's kind of messing around.
It's
having
like
fun while you're out there.
It's like the Aiden Hutchinson against Ohio State from a couple of years ago when he was lined up at edge and the Ohio State guy's talking trash and he's just like pointing at him and you can see him be like, I'm right here, like pointing to his chest and then just puts him on his back. Like that's the kind of like just alpha energy you want.
Dev says he's in here. Taylor, you seeing anything? Let's get our guy Hold the Mayo, a.k.a. Dem Snow, a.k.a. Cox Villain numero uno. Dev, what's up, bruh? What's going on?
Yo, what's up?
Nothing, man. Everything, huh? The Lord's Day, working out, the Saints winning. You now big timing, out the 600s. Looks like you're like front row, getting on TV. I mean, Dev, take us through yesterday.
Man, it was awesome, bro. It was the best case scenario. I mean, it started off like right when we sat at the Seashore River Parish disposal. That's the only reason I'm sitting there. It's not like I went on StubHub and bought that. But, yeah, no. Right when we sat down, bro, like Breeze's kids were like beating the piss out of each other, you know what I'm saying, right in front of us. And, you know, they started throwing the football. We were catching the football from the Breeze kids.
Oh, wow. Nice. Hell yeah.
I think it was Callan or Bowen threw one ball to my buddy. Dude, I'm watching the ball in the air, bro. It's a beautiful spiral. It's like, dude, look, it's coming, brother. It's coming because they, you know, those kids love to compete. Bushride came up to us, let us hold the Super Bowl ring.
So take me through that. Did Bushrod know who you were? Like, is he a fan of RB&R Day or what? How'd that work out? How did you get Jermon Bushrod's Super Bowl ring on your finger?
Yeah, Bushrod recently followed me probably about a month ago. And I'll be the first to tell you, not a lot of pro athletes follow me. You know what I'm saying? Because especially Saints players, because, dude, I'm a Saints fan, and you know it's a roller coaster of emotions.
Hey, Dev, what am I, just chopped liver? I'll follow you.
No, look like wow.
You're not. It's easier when you're retired. It's easier when you're retired.
Yes,
because
he's retired.
I can't say nothing.
No, but I get what Dev's saying. It's the same. Look, it's the same thing that I just accept doing media. It is a antagonistic relationship, right? Like it just has to be at times. Like I love a lot of people up there at LSU. I'm sure a lot of people were very mad at me when I called them beta males who climax too fast. It just kind of, we're in the entertainment industry, and sometimes it's just how it goes. So I feel you on that, Deb. Shout out getting to wear the Super Bowl ring, though. Had to feel good.
Yeah, and it's no love lost whatsoever. I mean, Tyron followed me last year, said he wanted to come on RBN all day. Dude, by week 8, Tyron had unfollowed me. You know what I'm saying? So, Mike Thomas followed me last night.
Oh,
hey, I'm excited, but guess what? I know the facts. That's a 2-week thing, bro. Like, you just got to know.
You had his jersey on yesterday, though.
Yeah, because Mike Thomas had some great catches yesterday, bro. I was actually very happy with Mike right out the gate. And like you said in the beginning of the show, I mean, he played.
Set the tone.
He played the most out of any Saints player.
He's a skill player, 52 snaps, I think.
Dev, so take us through then the common man's view on yesterday's game. You were in the stadium. It sounded awesome when the defense was on the field. What are your biggest takeaways from yesterday?
Number one, Demario Davis is a hound. He's 24/7 all go. Dude, unstoppable human, flying all over the field. It was him or Cam Jordan that was hitting Derrick Henry, bro. And that's the thing, man. Like obviously we know that's a hard dude to stop. They kind of made it look easy. I mean, Derrick Henry had one big game that I really remember. Other than that, bro, they kind of kept him in check. Love the turnovers. You know what my favorite turnover was? It was the Marcus May interception that was tipped.
The Isaac Edom tip.
Dude, the awareness, bro. That's the stuff that the Saints always kind of they missed that opportunity. Man, to see that, bro, that was absolutely beautiful. Adebo, Lattimore, it's all the dudes that we wanted to show out. Brzee matches Marcus Davenport's sack total from last year. Granderson doubles it. So it was.
How about Peyton Turner?
Saw him walk to the locker room, and I was asking him when he was walking. I'm sorry, bro. I had to ask him, if you can walk, why, even if you know that you can't play again, why are you walking to the locker room, bro? You know everything that's happened. We've been waiting for you to show out. The injuries you've already had. I know it's protocol. I know they want to take you. You got to tell them no. You got to tell them no, and you just got to stay on the sideline, bro. Don't walk to the locker room, bro. I didn't want to see that.
He had to, dude. He's hurt. He has to get surgery, dude.
Cox communication.
See, Taylor, this is why Baker Mayfield had to play hurt in Cleveland, right? I mean, we were talking about this earlier in the show. This is why Baker had to ruin his NFL career, because you can't be hurt. Not if you've been hurt.
It's just, bro. It's just too much to it, man. And it's
I know it sucks for him, bad.
Hey, I got to ask you about Trevor Penning, though, because everything the defense did, it was great. But offensively, you gave up 4 sacks. You couldn't run the football. And not being able to run the football, the Titans are really good against the run. You basically have one running back. But Trevor Penning right now, that's a real issue, Dev, because, look, Arden Key's a good rusher. You're going to play better, and you gave up a ton of sacks.
Yeah, you're going to play better. I mean, you played a great run defense, top 3, top 5 in the league. But as far as the pass rush, you're going to play better. And he just looks like a statue.
Yeah.
He looks like a statue that you could just easily get around.
Yeah.
It's really concerning, bro. But I mean, then again, man, they got a week to just get on his ass, man. Yeah, that's all you can do, bro. Because who's the next player that could step in for Trevor Penning? Hurst?
Yeah, it had to be Hurst.
Probably Hurst, and then Pete slide in at guard, right?
I'd rather see Penning go.
I'd rather defend. That's my point. Penning struggled, absolutely, but it's one half. It's kind of like his rookie year. Let's give my guy a little rope to improve before we just immediately declare him just done for, right? So, no, I'm not overly concerned. Now, Arden Key had his number, and I credit him for kind of finding his feet, because for a second there, my man looked like his knees were about to collapse. But he did okay. He stabilized, started helping him a little bit. Dev, to me, one of the best parts was the offense does struggle overall, but when it mattered most, I felt like you really felt the difference between a Carr and a Dalton in that game on the line. You needed the big plays. Carmichael trusted the quarterback. You went for the dub, and it ended up working out.
And we saw that last year. There was so many scenarios where Dalton could have sealed the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was just so conservative. It was check down, give the ball back to them. They got 2 minutes left. You already know what's about to go down. And that didn't happen yesterday. And the best play was that 40-something yard pass. I mean, to call that, to feel great about it. It's something that we hadn't been seeing the last couple of years, man. That was super awesome, bro. Really was. And then Jamal Williams really sealed it with that run when he couldn't get nowhere the whole game.
Yeah.
But he sealed it with that one run.
Yeah, the 11-yard run when I don't think they ran over 3.
Well, that's another thing that I do want to say about the offensive line. Now, the technique wasn't great from Penning, but the Titans knew there was no threat of a run game. They realized that pretty early in the game. And so as a rusher, when you know that, well, you know that you can pin your ears back and you can maybe not have as much integrity to your run lanes because you're like, hey, they're not going to run the football. And then the defensive tackles were dominating in the run game. And so that also heightens an edge rusher. So, obviously that you got to be better, but there is something to them not having any running game and knowing you were going to throw the football.
True.
And I still don't think if Kamara would have been playing, it would have, don't get me wrong, it would have been a little better, but
not much.
Again, dude, that run.
I think the Titans were 5th in the run defense and 31st in pass defense last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that played out today. But if Kamara was playing, it does open up probably more stuff in terms of being more dynamic with the swing pass being an extension of the running game situation. I love the weapons numbers you look up. You nearly got 3 receivers over 100 yards. You throw Alvin Kamara into that mix. Juwan Johnson's going to be better. I feel really good about Derek Carr being able to operate with these weapons.
Yeah, and look, other than and don't get me wrong, man, that interception, and he said it, that was just a dumb interception.
Yeah, he said it.
Really. Yeah. But, the only other surprise really to me was that I guess he didn't use all of the, or we didn't go to, all the tight ends. It was really just 3 receptions from Juwan Johnson. And, I didn't really see anybody else. I saw Jimmy get in a few games, a few plays, but, you didn't really see anybody else tight end wise get the ball. But that's cool, bro. Whatever you think, Derek, bro, I'm in your car. I don't care how many miles it's got on it. None of that, bro. Previous owners. I don't care if if it's got a salvage title. I am in that car, bro, and I'm definitely feeling good about it.
Well, the tight end breakdown, Johnson played 49 snaps. Foster Moreau played 32. You had Taysom Hill played 9. Jimmy Graham played 9. So they were out there. At least they had a nice rotation going. But, yeah, you're right. They only threw to Johnson.
Yeah, and even almost trying to force it to him a bit too much at times. But again, something else we mentioned it right off the jump of this show is what a good feeling it had to be for Derek Carr, Dev, because remember, this is a cat who is used to, when he was in the Raiders organization, never had a good defense, ever. Always actually had one of the worst in the entire league. Twice he had defense that ranked 20th. He now has a borderline top 5, maybe a top 5. We'll see. Definitely top 10. But, it had to be such a good feeling for him to realize, I can win here, and I don't have, it's not all on me. We can play actual complementary team football. And when he had to have it, he was great. The touchdown with the pump fake and the route from Shaheed was excellent.
Yeah, Shaheed, bro.
Yeah. After an inauspicious start, very good recovery.
Yeah, that dude's something else, bro. He really is, man. So, look. I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to look way better, obviously, here this next week. You know what I'm saying? Look at the game that Bryce Young had.
Yeah. Rookie quarterbacks, man. It's tough.
If we a real defense, bro, we're going to eat that man up. I'm telling you, bro. That's what we should do, at least. So,
they just ate up Ryan Tannehill for the lowest quarterback rating of his entire career. I feel pretty good about it. I'm with you, Dev. I feel pretty good about them going against Bryce Young.
Yeah.
They held on to Tannehill 1 year too long. I know they didn't really have a choice, but they did. So they
got options. They got Malik Willis and Will Levis. If they want to try something different.
Levis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember him? Kind of disappeared post-draft.
Yeah.
Just out there eating mayo somewhere. Couldn't be this guy.
Hey, shout Shout out Trey Palmer, bro.
Yep.
I can't believe that dude caught it. Like, it's always crazy to see LSU guys like circulate throughout the league, and then you kind of maybe forget where they at or whatever. Trey Palmer's been holding it down in Tampa, bro, and like they like him.
Well, no, he was incredible at Nebraska last year, and then Russell Gage got hurt. Remember, right before the season started in Tampa, so Trey Palmer slipped in a wide receiver 3, and look at him, dude, he's balling. Also, I hate to see this, but Bijan Robinson looked pretty damn good for the Falcons, bro. So get ready to strap it up. They don't look great. I'm not a Ritter believer, but Bijan, that touchdown he had was, thing was pretty.
Yeah. Hey, I just don't think they can throw the ball, bro. I mean, look at Pitts. You know what I'm saying?
I'm becoming more, I know they won, but I'm becoming convinced that the Falcons are in the whole, like, we're not that mad if we have a bad year. Because if you look at the quarterback crop next year, I mean, are you kidding me? You got Drake May, Caleb Williams, Penix, Shadur Sanders now in that mix. Quinn Ewers after Saturday, I'm like, he looks like he could end up being one of those guys. I mean, I know I'm missing guys. Like, there's a lot of seemingly very good quarterbacks coming out next year. So that's the only way that I can explain Atlanta being so hard. Like, we are Desmond Ritter. It's like, okay, I get it now. I get what you're doing.
Dude, that Shadur Sanders versus Caleb Williams game, bro. That's gonna be a crazy game.
That's gonna be good. You know what's crazy? It's like already I think the execution of Colorado's defense is so much better than USC's, but whatever.
No doubt. Yeah, I would probably take Colorado in that game, to be honest with you. I don't know how USC played against Stanford. I didn't even watch it, but
smoked them. I didn't watch it either, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure they smoked them.
Stanford's got a long way to go still.
Hey, last thing. Shout out to Squeaky Grinders, baby. 1-0. Blew Benny out the ballpark. I'm telling you, bro, I'm a problem in that fantasy league.
Yeah.
I lost. How'd you do, Jake?
I lost to Taylor. Joe Burrow got me 2 points.
Yeah, I lost.
Yeah, I should have played Derek Carr. He had 14.
All right, Dev. RB&R day today. Can't wait to see where you go. HCMsports.com/shop. Anything I'm missing?
No, that's it, man. Undefeated. Who dat, baby? Let's go.
Who dat? Let's go, baby. All right, more OTB next.
OTB. OT.
Go to Gordon McKernan, injury attorney, 225-888-8888. Gordon McKernan, injury attorney, is going to get you right, man. You need somebody who's going to fight for you, who's going to win for you. You want to get the G team. A lot of your favorite athletes got the G team as well. Go follow them on social media at Get Gordon, where you can stay up to date with all the great. They always get good like giveaways going on, prizes. The Billboard contest just ended, and sit downs with your favorite athletes. Get Gordon and get it done.
Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com there right now. If you're already at work, maybe you can't pick up the phone, you can have a chat right there on the website. They can answer any question that you might have. You can find past client results, cases they can handle for you. Of course, always on social media, the handle at Get Gordon. But no matter where you're at in the state of Louisiana, the G team can help you out. So North Louisiana, South Louisiana, Alexandria area, it doesn't matter. Like your area code followed by 888-8888, getgordon.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. like cypress stumps. Your roots are planted deep inside of me.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages.
It's Hunt. Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, reacting to Brian Kelly's press conference post-Grambling and Saints-Titans reaction as well. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
T-Bob, as much as you hated last week's schedule, this week's is brutal. But
it's a wet fart.
I mean, I don't even know if I'd give it that status. Like next week.
Yeah, week 4 is the first hit.
Week 4, you've got Ohio State at Notre Dame, Ole Miss at Alabama, Colorado at Oregon, Iowa at Penn State, UCLA at Utah, Oregon State at Washington State, and FSU at Clemson. Whoa.
That's incredible.
Week 3, though? Ooh.
Wait, here's a fun stat, you know? I've been watching a lot of Ben Feingold, who's a chess GM, and he's just hilarious. And
a chess what?
Grandmaster.
Okay.
And he always says, truth hurts, right? Truth hurts. Well, how's this for some truth? Alabama Crimson Tide, 4-3 in their last 7 games against Power 5 opponents. Truth hurts, boys. Sorry, Bama. Don't know. Crumbling empire. Pretty obvious. Now, and I want to be clear about this because, yes, I was very wrong about some things this weekend, but a lot of people are like, I can't believe you even gamble, like thinking I bet these games. I did not. I actually had a fantastic weekend of betting on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I think I only lost like 1 game, okay? So don't try to come at me there because the wallet is feeling fatter and heavier than ever. Again, shout out Jalen Daniels in Kansas, getting it done. Iowa unders, getting it done. Our boy Brian Friends, not going to hit the 325, at least not feeling like it thus far.
So I went, that was my pick in our, what were we calling it? The Row the Boat
bet
parlay. That was my choice, was the under in Iowa State. What was yours?
I didn't choose one.
Okay.
We kind of agree collectively on the rest of them.
Utah. What was our 3? I found Oregon 6.5 over whoever, and then Utah 7.5 over Baylor. They won by 7.
Yeah.
Ooh, so we lost by half a point.
I ended up getting in my individual bet. I ended up getting Utah at 7. So they finally
pushed. Okay.
Yeah, finally.
I mean, Utah covered, Oregon covered. Thanks to pick 6.
Yeah. You know, you have the classic like, hindsight's 2020. Admittedly, the Utah pick may have been a little prisoner of the moment of us, right? You knew Baylor wasn't going to look as bad, even though they are very bad. I mean, they found a way to lose that game. They really had no excuse losing. And then on top of that, you had, Utah with a backup quarterback. Like, they need Cam Rising.
Yeah.
They don't look nearly. I mean, yeah, in Florida, like, we got questions for you, Florida.
Now, once we got real concerns. Like, the panic meter should be going off in a lot of SEC schools, but in Gainesville, it should be broken from never turning off. Johnson, when he came in for Utah, like, they should have played him the entire time.
Yeah.
And they got some juice from that's the reason they won the game. But, yeah, I mean, Cam Rising needs to come back for Utah to have any chance of winning a very deep Pac-12.
And remember, the NFL is back on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, official sports betting partner of the NFL. So you bet $5 on NFL bet, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you sign up with the promo code Baton Rouge. So if you're signed up for DraftKings for the first time, promo code Baton Rouge, $5 in $5 bet instantly gets you $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. More OTB when we get back.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. but our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows, recapping a busy weekend. LSU Grambling, you'll hear from Brian Kelly, and we'll recap Saints-Titans from the Dome. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Hey, T-Bob, how's the Texas Alabama take tasting now? And you get paid for this. Wow.
Oh, where's that at?
Yeah, all over. I mean, it's my entire mentions throughout the weekend.
Hey, look,
it's not my fault that Alabama sucks now. Okay, 4-3. Is that even that good of a win if you're Texas? Not really. Okay, not from where I sit. Hey, do it again, Texas. Win a championship. Go full Stugotz. Do it again. Do it remind you to Patient Plus Urgent Care, where they do it every single time. Patient Plus Urgent Care, you need to get in, you need to get better. Go to Patient Plus, COVID, whatever's going around right now, man. They got your back. They get all the testing. Like I said, I had that ear infection, and I'm talking I'm in and out in 15 minutes, y'all. Good to go for the weekend. Not losing my weekend to any BS. The kids, whatever, walk-ins always welcome. Create that digital profile. And remember, it's not just personal, though. Your occupational medicine needs, they're the absolute best. Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Light. Visit your hotels at Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Sweet. I drank about 7,000 10-ounce Coors Lights yesterday. My hands look bigger.
Well, why else would you do it?
Heady play. Ask the Bench, going to the record store, what should I get? That's a you question, Jake.
Jacob Banks.
What's y'all's take on sour gummy bears? I don't like sour stuff.
I like, there is a Sour Patch Kids watermelon flavor. I don't typically like stuff like that, but it hits.
Have y'all seen the Bama student section shouting racist and homophobic slurs at Tex players? I just saw it, and I really hope whoever that kid is that can be heard so clear on that video gets his ass beat, or
yeah, let him square up one-on-one. Let him square up.
Yeah, or even gets expelled. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
like
get out of here.
Those
clown.
are pretty. Yeah, it's pretty uncrossable line.
Yeah. He's lucky that guy didn't come over to the fence.
Well, that's the best part. The Texas player just sitting there doing the gritty horns up in their face. That was actually, that was well done. Huge thank you to everyone hanging out with us today. We'll be back tomorrow. More OTB. We love you. Football season. Oh, so nice. Who dat? Go Tigers. Bolt up.
OTB.
Cowboys
OT.
suck. Cowboys are awful. Nobody likes them. Except for Taylor. And he has questionable taste.
There was a hint of Bobby in that who dat for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. If you want to feel younger, better, stronger, faster, I think me and my wife are about to start getting like B vitamin shots from there. Get a little energy, right?
Yep.
But look, maybe it's HRT. Look, energy levels, mood and memory, insomnia, andropause, menopause, facial aging, weight gain, all of this can be treated at Rejuve Medical. Go in there, get that consultation, see what's there for you, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Yeah, I mean, go to the website. I mean, they're authentic people that work over at Rejuve Me, like not like T-Bob's Jersey authentic, but actually authentic people. RejuveMeMedical.com is the website. Nothing? Like not even a smirk?
No, I zoned out in chat. No, this jersey. I mean, this jersey fits so bad.
RejuveMeMedical.com. Go to the website today.
Why are the arms so long?
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees